Hey, I wanted to tell you guys yesterday when you were having that conversation about the CFL teams, the names.
Yeah.
Man, I laughed so hard. I had this major flashback to like way back. I don't know if you guys know this, but I used to put together a lot of your promos back in the Casio days. He would sometimes just leave me like some notes and say this time, that time, this conversation, and I would kind of pick stuff up and cut them out. But you guys had on I he was like a Canadian broadcaster. I think he was kind of the equivalent of a Sports Center host in Canada. And
Okay.
you asked him about the Rough Riders. And I actually put this together as a promo. And he said, the thing is, he goes, Canadians just know. He said we could be he said we could be like, and last night in the CFL, the Rough Riders beat the Rough Riders. Tough break for those Rough Riders. Canadians just, I thought that was so funny, and I remembered that promo for some reason. Tough break for those Rough Riders.
I just remember it was on late afternoon, so it would be on when I'd get home from school or what have you, or I was in college and done with classes for the day, and you could turn on ESPN at 4:00. There was a CFL game, and it was like, I'll be damned. Look at this crazy field. Then I covered Rocket Ismail in high school and college, and then he goes to play in it. It was like, uh-oh. Flutie, Rocket. Good morning, everybody.
You know, I forgot to switch my internet. I am going to switch out really quick. Yeah, I'm going to switch out quickly. This is dangerous at this time of the morning.
I was going to say, we're living on the edge. Top of
now,
the morning.
Here's Mark Miller and Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. Is this a hump day? Yeah, I think it is. Let's get over it together, shall we? How the heck are you, Miller and Moulton? MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. Got a good show lined up for you. Mark, I know you're back at Hope House. Top of the morning to you. How are you?
I'm good. You know, another week. I get to go home this weekend again, and A couple more days here next week, unfortunately, and it not really unfortunately. It is what it is. I kind of expected it. So, yeah, me and the Hope Lodge will do another week or so, and then I'll go home next week for good. So looking forward to that. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Finally got there. Incredibly happy, blessed, all of those things to be able to go home soon because obviously with what was going on, a lot of different outcomes could have happened, and they've all been really solid.
Wow. And goodness knows the audience is very grateful and very supportive. And I am as well. I know we love 6 and 7 game series. I mean, how could you not, right? But sometimes don't you just want a team to wrap it up in 5 because, well, they haven't wrapped a lot of things up in a while, and the longer the thing goes, the unthinkable can happen. So I was kind of bummed when Boston scored in overtime. I was hoping that Buffalo could lose their minds and be on the good end of a handshake for the first time in 19 years.
At home, too.
Right.
At home. I mean, it is a great little sports town.
Yeah.
Because it is. Buffalo's not a big market. Buffalo, by pro sports standards, is a tiny market.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a place where the love they have for their teams is about all they've got. I mean, no one says, when I graduate college, I'm thinking of moving to Buffalo. You're from that part of the world. You stay in that part of the world. You don't typically end up moving to that part of the world. So they're very proud of what they have.
Very.
And two of the biggest things they have are their football team and their hockey team.
Yep.
And we're realizing how much they love their hockey team. We've known how much they've loved their football team for a long time. Because for the most part, this century and in the latter part of last century, they've been pretty good. There was a long run with this team in New England. And here's the irony. Who are the Sabres playing in the postseason? Well, the team and city that's been the dominant team in their football division for most of this century. So, yes, David, I was hopeful when it was 1-0. I was hopeful as the game went to overtime. And for them, I understand that they wake up this morning with nerves that most of us sports fans don't get. Most of us, what do you mean? You're up 3-2. You're going to get a game.
Right. You're
not
fine.
If you're a Buffalo fan.
No.
And David, there was no chance for this team to win the series. And they've not been around as long, but they lost their franchise and they kind of like hockey. And we've talked about how long it's been since the Sabres have won a series. Well, it's been 11 years since the Minnesota Wild have won a playoff series.
Mm-hmm.
And last night to go into Dallas and win that game, I started thinking about the Wild and going, man, I hope they can get it done in Game 6 because we focus so much on the Sabres and their long drought. It's tough to realize that the Wild have gone over a decade in the state that loves hockey more than any other state.
Well, and the Sabres have gone that long, but heck, they just went nearly 15 years without making the playoffs. The Wild are making the playoffs basically every year and not getting out of the first round basically every year. So, yeah, I mean, the first round droughts that are in play right now in the NHL are fascinating. Buffalo hasn't gotten out of the first round in 19 years. Minnesota hasn't gotten out in 11 years. Okay. Are the Flyers are halfway to blowing a 3-0 lead? No. But then again, the Flyers did 3-spit to Boston 15 years ago when they were down 3-0 and came back and won and went all the way to the finals. I mean, the hockey playoffs are fascinating, nerve-wracking. having to make decisions as a fan at 10 o'clock at night. Am I in on the overtime or am I going to bed? Okay, these are big, important decisions because overtime can be 20 minutes or 4 hours and 20 minutes. There's a lot on the line in this series, Mark. A lot on the line.
Love David making a 420 reference early in the show and not even realizing it. That's the type of show that we bring you. Obviously, some hoop went on last night as well. A team has found themselves in the past couple of games. It's the team that you root for. You know what they look like lately, David? They look like the Knicks.
Well, they do. I think they got mad with themselves and they're taking it out on Atlanta. But if you had asked the Boston sports fan last night, hey, you got your hockey and your basketball teams in the playoffs. One's going to win, one's going to lose. What do you say? Well, I mean, the hockey team's down 3-1 going on the road. Basketball team's up 3-1 and we're at home. Of course, you know what's going to happen.
And if push came to shove, they'd have lost both and let the Red Sox streak continue, but that didn't happen.
That's a whole other story.
That's a whole other story.
Hey, another day, another manager fired. My goodness, it's April.
And David, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, what was your surprise? And I was driving when we got the text that it had happened. My surprise level was -20. Like we talked about it on the show after Boston did it. Philly and the Mets are standing by going, okay, here we go.
I was surprised it was Philly before New York for this reason. The Mets are not a well-run organization, and the Mets do things fly off the handle-esque. The guy running the Phillies is a pretty grounded guy. He extended the manager and the coaching staff himself last year when he didn't have to, and they all had contracts through next season. So I certainly, Mark, thought he was going to let the manager, I don't know, see May.
But he did not. Another manager gone in baseball, another series over in basketball. San Antonio dismisses of Portland, but the over hit and it's running away. I mean, Orlando's got 3. The Sixers have 2. Portland went down 4-1. So of the 4, 8, and 7 seeded teams, they have 6 wins. Our over-under was 4.5. They've blown it away.
Yep. Big over, and Orlando with a chance to win the series tonight. We will head to Detroit in a couple hours and talk with the radio voice of the Magic, Jake Chapman.
And really, the biggest news we may get out of him is a little injury report. Franz Wagner hurt a calf. Will he play tonight? Obviously, that's key for the Magic. But the game that Miller and Moulton, and I'm hoping most of you are interested in, is the one that's going on in the backyard of my adopted home of Tampa, Florida for the past 3 months.
Woo-hoo.
Because the Canadians and Lightning have played 3 overtime games. The other game was a 1-goal game. It has been a back and forth, violent series.
Nasty.
Yeah, I take physical and I'll up it a notch. You know, the playoffs are always physical. There is that word that Miller and Moulton love in sports. It's called hatred. And these two teams have developed it for one another quickly.
Yes. Yes. And when you watch the other series, I mean, wasn't it telling? You watched the Montreal Tampa Bay game 4, and then you watched game 5 of Pittsburgh and Philly. You know, the Keystone State rivalry. These two teams hate one another. Yeah, let me tell you something. That series got nothing on Montreal Tampa Bay in terms of physical and nasty. Nothing on the Canadians and the Lightning.
It's where sometimes I don't understand odds makers, because there's been 4 1-goal games, 3 have gone to overtime. The road team has won 2 of the 4 games, yet Tampa Bay is -170 tonight.
That seems excessive.
I'm not going to bet the game because I'm rooting for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I have been throughout. made it abundantly clear. Yes, the team that I'm most loyal to is in Detroit, Michigan. But after that, actually, in my beginning of my career in sports, I worked for a Lightning affiliate. So I've had a soft spot for the Lightning since 1992. And tonight, they're a big favorite against Montreal. But David, if you were just betting the game, if you were neutral and just betting the game, you've got to take Montreal in the odds.
Well, I think you make two bets on them. Don't you take them in the goal and a half, since every game's a 1-goal game? Just take the goal and a half, and then, you go, well, I'll throw a few shekels on them on the money line. I mean, the series is a toss-up. Yeah.
Flyers trying to close it out tonight at home, and Utah and Vegas in what's been a very entertaining series if you've paid attention. But the Lightning and the Habitants are going at it tonight in Tampa, 7 o'clock. It's a Mark Miller special. Very excited about the start time of this game. It's so early that if it goes to overtime, it won't even bother me.
And Mark, I'd just like to let you know, even though you've changed locations to do the show from yesterday to today, the Tampa Bay Rays have still found their pitching.
Yes, they have. I saw their only run last night while I was at dinner. It's all they needed to beat Cleveland 1-0. Great show lined up for you today. Rob Ellis will join us. David booked him because the Phillies fired their manager. But there's not a Philadelphia team that's not worth talking about right now. Seth Everett in his usual spot, and Jake Chapman to talk Magic Pistons. Miller and Moulton.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Floor Meisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floor Meisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
This is Miller and Moulton.
All right, I got 5 minutes. It didn't take last time, and I don't know why. I'm trying this again.
All right. See you soon.
What's that?
I said, okay, see you soon.
Hope so.
Puck, I don't know. I mean, the good thing is you probably are getting Scooble at like the lowest odds you can get them at because they're playing such a good team. I just think for the drama, Detroit has to win tonight so that this way the Thursday getaway game is for whether or not the Braves can continue the streak of winning every series they play. Puck, that's a big ballpark, though. It's tough to count on a lot of runs in that ballpark, don't you think? Jay Gunn, not only has his life changed, I have a feeling a lot of family members' lives have also changed.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Top of the morning to you. How the heck are you? Let's get over the hump together, shall we? Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. It's our daughter's birthday today. 29. Told her this will be the last one she celebrates. Either that or she'll just celebrate this one over and over and over again.
Yeah, I got a feeling because our kids' birthdays are reasonably close, and your daughter's a couple years older than my son, but he's no longer mid-20s when it hits this year. He's late 20s, and I'm here for that.
You're, of course, going to let it slide. Hardly a mention.
Right. Right.
But it's going to be a good day because mom and dad and one of her grandmas will be there for the little, soiree that we will have tonight. It'll be low key, but, she should enjoy it. She'll have her 2 kids around. Her husband loves her. I mean, take a snap.
Thank goodness for the husband, because mom, dad, and grandma are going to be paying attention to those 2 kids most of the time. They may throw a card the daughter's way, but other than that, really, you have a lot of time for me today? No.
Yeah, son-in-law and I kind of stand in the back and go, so who do you think's lower on the pecking order? He's like, I don't know. It depends on the occasion. So
Well, I think it's you.
I do too.
I think it's you because, yes, if you had to be thrown into the mix, you could change a diaper. I am fully, I know that you can do the duties necessary, and probably have when you babysat.
No, I was,
when you're,
when
you're all there in that room, David.
Right.
They're not turning to you
No.
when everybody's together and something needs to be done for the, wait for it, grandkids and great grandkids. They're calling on him. You're coming into the 7th to get a batter out, if you know what I mean.
Right. I'm the 3rd lefty in the bullpen. I appear 3 times a week to face somewhere between 3 and 5 batters. Right.
But happy birthday to your daughter. I may even send her a text today.
So we got that going on. Mark, I wanted to bring up something that would put a smile, at least on my face, but the rat bastards are doing it. God! After the NCAA tournament that we just had, in which literally there had never been more evidence presented that this is the dumbest and most unnecessary idea ever.
And there's no one who covers the tournament who thinks it's a good idea. I mean, that's the other part. And I understand the coaches do it for self-preservation. I get that. But, we've had a lot of college basketball, good college basketball people on in the last 5 months, David. Nobody supports this.
No one.
Nobody. From Jason Carmelo, from Bobby Reagan, from the guys from Field of 68. And nobody, David.
Coach K thinks it's an awful idea.
And what do we never do in sports, David? We don't go back. So once it's done, it's done.
Well, also, if you look at the fine print, they're going to make the first couple days of the tournament even bigger than what we thought. Like, I don't know about you, Mark, but I guess it's because it's 8 teams. But I thought you add 8 teams, you're adding 4 more games. No? So that, okay, you've got your little thing in Dayton, 8 teams, 4 games. So we need to find one other location, and we'll have 8 teams in 4 games. Apparently, they're talking about now, before the full field tournament starts, we're going to have 24 teams in 12 games, not 16 teams in 8 games. What the hell are you doing? What's going on? So what are we going to have, 10 seeds playing now? We're going to have 10s, 11s? Are we going to have all the 16s playing? Are we going to have 15 and 16s playing? What? I don't get this. What are you doing? What are you doing? This is stupid. This is unnecessary. By the way, they're making after expenses. I guess the networks have thrown in a little bit more money so that every team's share can remain the same, because now you got to have 8 more shares. All right. And then, there's expenses involved, hotels and flights and what have you. Mark, apparently the networks are throwing in just enough money so that the NCAA is making about $311 on this when everything is done. That's it. This is not a moneymaker. What are they doing?
I don't know, David. I thought you said you were going to put a smile on my face.
No, I brought up my daughter's birthday to bring up so that you and I could be smiling before we get into this ridiculous topic. Ah,
I had a happy sports topic to talk about. I was going to make people feel good. It was going to make people like a player more. But sure, bring up the tournament. Bring everybody down. That's what we need right now. Hell, why don't we turn on the news?
but it's the biggest story in sports. I didn't want to bury it. I'm sorry.
And
Sorry?
yes, they're doing it for the women's tournament too, because that's what we need is more top seeds to beat higher rank or lower ranked seeds in that tournament, because that tournament provides so many upsets.
So many. The only redeeming value is that there more mid-majors will make the women's tournament than will make the men's. Like when we did the bubble last year, the first 8 teams that missed, it was like 7 Power 4 schools on the men's side. At least on the women's side, it was like 4-4, 5-3. Okay, but nobody will care.
No, they won't. No, they will not. So I think the biggest beneficiary in all of this is True TV. But there are so many games that now I don't know if True TV can carry them all. Here's the thing. We are actually going to have multiple games going on Monday and Tuesday now, right? Is that what will happen?
Or Tuesday, Wednesday.
Or Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm sorry. We'll have multiple bad games. We'll have your choice of watching different 16 seeds playing at the same time.
Yeah.
How can that be good for the sport?
Well, and also they're going to have an afternoon session, right? I mean, this sucker is going to have to start noon, 1 o'clock.
I mean, if you're going to have 16 games, you could just double them up at the 7 and 9. I don't know, David. It's terrible.
Awful. Just
and no
awful.
one wants this. I mean, look at whether you want 12, 16, or 24 in the college football playoff. We could put a poll question up, and every one of those answers is going to get around a third, David. Maybe not on our show, but you know what I mean. If it was a national poll, how many teams do you want in the college football playoff? And the choices were 12, 16, or 24. I think the vote would be relatively even. I do.
Okay.
If we put the poll up, do you want 76 teams or what are we at? 72 now or
68?
68. Do we want 68 or 76 teams? I think it would be an 80-20 vote, if not higher, in favor of the 68.
Yeah, I think the over-under is 90.5, and I'm going to go over. I think nobody wants 76. You know who wants it? Greg Sankey. And he talked Tony Petitti into it. They can't agree on football, but they agreed on this. They agreed on watering down and ruining the NCAA basketball tournament.
I think it's leading us to 24 in football. I think this was, I'll do this for you. You do this for me. Ooh. We do the starting 5 for you next.
The Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Well, the NIT hasn't been at the Garden for a few years.
It's Sankey wanting the NCAA tournament to turn into the college softball tournament. He is of the opinion every SEC team belongs in every postseason tournament. It's why he hasn't gone to 24, because he doesn't want the 4. He thinks the SEC should get 6 if they go to 24 minimum. I think Sankey would leave the college football playoff tomorrow to just start something with the Big Ten. I think he'd just as soon crush all of college sports to make the SEC win every championship. He is not for the good of college athletics. He is only for the good of the SEC. And he is proving that time and time again. And we're never going to get a commissioner in college sports. So this is what's going to happen. And the NCAA has zero power anymore. So is it going to be the 11s, the 15s, and the 16s playing in?
I have no idea.
Or is it going to be the 11s, half the 10s, half the 15s, and all the 16s?
Well, there's 6 16s. So
They'll go to 8.
God.
I mean, that's 2 more, right? I'm because we've got to add 8 teams. So if we add 2 more 16s, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
they'll
8
go to
16s.
8. They'll go to 8.
So if we had 2 more 11s, that's 4 more teams. So we're halfway there. 2 10s, 2 15s. That's my guess. Based on how you said that, that's my guess.
Yeah, I would do 4 10s before I would get the 15s involved. I would leave the 15s alone, but
They won't do that. They should.
or do you think they go the other way, Mark? Do you think they get the 12s involved?
Well, the 12s are largely now. They could. All 4. Because 11s are the last, 12s are now auto bids.
Right.
So how many auto bids are they going to screw?
But think about who they're screwing.
Oh, the little guy.
Right. They're screwing the mid-majors.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes to the top of the hour. Rob Ellis joins us 1 hour from now, live from Philly. Boy, nothing to talk about there.
I mean, what team are we going to start with? I mean, literally, we can talk about every single Philadelphia team. Sixers win last night. Flyers, I mean, I don't know about must win, but they don't want to go back to Pittsburgh. Phillies just fired their manager. And, oh, yeah, by the way, I think the Eagles may have signed an undrafted free agent that was a wide receiver.
And they had another terrific draft. So, yeah, a lot to talk about in the city of brotherly love. Rob Ellis, 1 hour from now. Seth Everett will join us on this hump day. We'll head to Detroit 2 hours from now to talk with the radio voice for the Orlando Magic. Is the 8th seed going to make history tonight? First, it's time for
The Starting Five. 5 big stories you need to know. Here is the Starting Five.
Well, they are putting the finishing touches on expanding the NCAA basketball tournaments. Both the men's and women's tournaments will expand to 76 teams, effective next season. We have just had our last 68-team tournament. Oh, boy. Right now, they got that whole first 4 thing in Dayton. 8 teams, 4 games. Seems to work. In the future, well, they're going to have to find another Dayton. I'm just going to throw this out there. It might not be super conveniently located, but I'm just going to throw, the reason Dayton works is they love their college basketball, and it doesn't matter who's playing in those games. Those games are sold out. How about Albuquerque in the Pit? I know it's not convenient to then get to your next game, but they love their basketball. It's a historic arena. All right. Just, I don't know.
I see where you're going. There aren't a lot of teams out west, so it's difficult to get there. I would counter and say, David, that's a terrific idea. Can I counter with Louisville?
Well, I mean, I'd love it if it was that geographically centered. Like, I don't think it's going to be west of St. Louis / Kansas City, but I know you're right. Okay, I was just trying to bring some history of college hoops into this abhorrent idea. So anyway, it's going to begin next year. Woohoo! NHL, Sabres on the precipice of winning a playoff series for the first time in 19 years. Not so fast, my friend. Pasta. David Pasternak in overtime. And the Bruins stay alive 2-1. Series is still 3-2 Buffalo. They'll head back to Beantown. And maybe the Sabres will get it done there.
Do you have a favorite pasta? Take some time. Think about it. Get back to me.
Okay. The Minnesota Wild have now put themselves in position to be on the winning end of a handshake line for the first time in 11 years. The Wild went to Dallas and beat the Stars 4-2. Matt Boldy's power play goal late second period gave them the lead for good. Zuccarello and Kaprizov both scored. 4-2 Wild over the Stars. They lead the series 3-2.
You know who's pretty good? This Quinn Hughes guy. Look, and I'm not making the comparison because, one, I didn't see this guy play in his heyday. But when I've watched videos of Bobby Orr killing penalties by himself by just simply skating around the rink for a minute and a half, when I see Quinn Hughes in the offensive zone just dangling around for 20 seconds, I just wonder if there are older hockey fans that are Orr fans going, I watched a guy do this. I've watched this before.
Meanwhile, Edmonton stays alive, 3 in the first. Draisaitl had 2 goals. Oilers beat the Ducks 4-1. Anaheim leads the series 3-2, however, and they can be on the receiving end of the handshake line tomorrow night. All right, tonight, baby, 7 o'clock, Game 5, Canadiens and Lightning. Tonight, 7:30, Game 6. Penguins and Flyers. Flyers were up 3-spit. Now it's 3-2. What happens if the Penguins score the first goal tonight?
Gritty will pucker. And I don't mean to kiss a fan.
I'm just wondering, are they going to do your idea the other day of, are they going to do something with Gritty? Okay, since the Flyers were called scumbag hockey, are they going to do something with Gritty? Because the Flyers are embracing their new role. Oh, by the way, Game 5 in Vegas tonight, series tied at 2, the Mammoth and the Golden Knights. NBA, it was supposed to be over in Boston last night. Celtics had the lead going to the 4th. Sixers outscored the Celtics by 17 in the 4th quarter. Joel Embiid with 33. And Philly wins their second game in Boston this series, 113-97. I mean, they can win one at home, right? I mean, they can force a Game 7, right? But then again, Mark, this could be, remember the Detroit Knicks series last year?
I do, David. I do. Back when Detroit played basketball.
Stop it. Detroit 1 of 2 of 3 at the Garden, couldn't even win a home game. Knicks ended up winning it in 6. Speaking of the Knicks are playing as if they want to eliminate the Hawks in 6. Brunson with 39. Knicks beat Atlanta by 29, 126-97. And the Spurs did what we expected. They were up 20 at the half. They cruised over Portland, 114-95. They advanced to the second round. They are awaiting the winner of the Nuggets and the Timberwolves tonight in the NBA. You know, I think your series and our series got the short end of the stick. Orlando, Detroit's on Amazon, but Toronto, Cleveland is on ESPN.
One series it's 2-2. One series it's 3-1, David. I mean, I would argue Toronto, Cleveland's a bigger game. Detroit's at home. They're a pretty large favorite, as is Cleveland for that matter. But
all right. Magic, by the way, trying to win their first playoff series since 2010. They're up 3-1 on the Pistons. The late game tonight. Have you heard all the talking the Rockets are doing? Do they know they're down 3-1 and we're down 3-spit? Rockets win Game 5, and afterwards they're like, everybody knows who the better team in this series is. It's us. Guys, you the blank. Got knocked out in the first round last year as the 2 seed. You're down 3-1 in the first round this year. They don't even have Luka.
And by the way, just so you know, Rocket players who said that, Vegas doesn't think so because Vegas is a 4.5. I mean, Vegas has made the Lakers a 4.5-point favorite.
Baseball, 6 in a row for the Rays. Nick Martinez, a 3-hitter through 7. Tampa Bay beats Cleveland 1-0. Guardians have lost 4 in a row. Rays continue to have the second best record in the American League. Heck, there's only 4 teams above 500 in the American League. Yankees have the best record in the AL. Judge homered in the 9th to put them up 3-0. It's a good thing because Texas scored 2 in the bottom of the 9th. But the Yankees win 3-2. This Cam Schlittler guy is fantastic. 6 shutout innings again for the Yankees. Toronto shut out Boston 3-0. Trey Yescavich was making his season debut. Took a shutout into the 6th. Good for him. It snaps the Red Sox 3-game winning streak. Pete Alonso homered. Hey, that doesn't happen very often. His 4th of the year, a 2-run shot. Baltimore beat Houston 5-3. Braves beat the Tigers 5-2, and it was a rough day at the ballpark for the Tigers.
Yes, it was.
Pitcher Casey Mize with a hamstring injury. Uh-oh. That could be a month in a heartbeat. And
Javi Baez.
same thing, sliding into the bag, right? Or anyway, he's injured, doesn't look good. So Braves win 5-2. They've won 11 of 13. Scooble on the hill tonight for the Tigers. Marlins.
He'll pitch 6, maybe 5.
Unreal. Marlins hold off the Dodgers this time. Jansen Junk outdueled Ohtani. 2-1 Miami over LA. Mets won 8-0 over the Nats. They scored 7 in the fourth. Soto homered. Phillies fired their manager, offered the job to Alex Cora. He said, no, I'm going to spend the rest of the year with my family and get paid by the Red Sox. So instead, they gave Don Mattingly the interim gig. And oh, by the way, the Phillies shut out the Giants 7-0. Jesus Luzardo with 7 shutout innings. Ellie De La Cruz, Mark, homer and 4 RBIs. The Reds are 19-10. They've got a 1.5 game lead. Reds 7-2 over the Rockies. Cubs trying to keep pace. Pete Crow Armstrong with a 3-run shot, 8-3 over the Padres. Cardinals had 4 multi-run innings in an 11-7 win over the Pirates. Milwaukee wins the 13-run pool, 13-2 over Arizona. They hadn't homered in 7 games before Sal Frelick hit a solo shot early in this one. And then they scored 12 more runs without a homer. Seattle is just a game below 500 despite that awful start. They beat Minnesota 7-1. Josh Naylor with a homer and 4 RBIs. Drew Romo hit his first 2 home runs. White Sox beat the Angels 5-2. Angels have lost 9 of 10. And Bobby Witt Jr. with a 3-run homer in the 10th. Royals have won 4 in a row. They beat the A's 4-1. NFL news, they say it's just to clean things up. But Bo Nix reportedly had his second procedure on his right ankle last week. The Broncos say he may not do much before training camp, but he'll be ready for training camp. Hope so. Because if he was healthy, they would have gone to the Super Bowl. Russell Wilson is a backup in New York? Wait, I thought he already did that. Oh, no, they're talking about doing it with the Jets. So Geno Smith and Russell Wilson would be their first 2 quarterbacks.
All right. I thought he was a banana for life. Is that just me?
Now, maybe it's for another month or 2. And then remember, the Jets traded up for Cade Klubnik there. Steelers put the seldom used UFA tender on Aaron Rodgers because there is now a little bit of growing unease as to what it is Aaron Rodgers is going to do. The Steelers are still saying publicly, no, he's just taking his time, but we're confident he's going to play next year and play for us. Okay. I could have sworn I heard one of the Rooneys say we needed an answer before the draft. Mark, did they get an answer before the draft?
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Okay. Here's, by the way, the biggest tell that maybe something's going on. Mark, have you looked at, what is it, those predicting the future things? Okay. Yeah, it's now up to 19% in Vegas that he's not going to play next year. Yeah, it's been in the low single digits, that number. Now it's up to 19%. Just bears watching. They usually know what's going on out there before we do. Lions picked up the 5th-year option on running back Jahmyr Gibbs, but they do not pick up the 5th-year option on linebacker Jack Campbell. The Lions say it's not because we don't love Campbell. It's because the 5th-year option was going to be $22 million. I have to admit, I'd love to know why Campbell's option is $22 million, but Gibbs's option is $14.5 when Gibbs was drafted before Campbell. I don't quite understand that, but that's what the story says. Tell you what, if the Lions don't get him signed, they got to tag him, don't they? You can't lose Jack Campbell in a year.
No, I think they got to get a long-term deal. I don't think they're going to want to pay him the kind of money that he thinks he's going to get, however. And they just lost Anzalone, so it's obviously a position of need. You and I don't like Anzalone, but they need a linebacker.
Yeah. And finally, Turnberry is still out of the rotation, but Royal Lytham back in the open rotation for the first time in 16 years. Royal Lytham will host the Open in 2028. They're at Royal Birkdale this year, St. Andrews next year, and then Lytham in 2028. Ernie Els won the Open 16 years ago after Adam Scott's collapse. And that, Mark, at 7 minutes before the hour, is starting five. Five big stories you needed to know here on Miller and Moulton.
Pelican Roofing in Florida text line is open. We have people giving their advice as to what to do with the NCAA tournament, suggesting home games early for 1 seeds. We're not going to redo the tournament here. Okay, we're not going to redo the tournament. I understand you're trying to think out of the box. I get it. But it's going to be 4 16 seeds playing 4 16s, 4 11s playing 4 11s. Then what? We're not sure.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
If you're a business who targets men, please know there is no better and more economical way to reach your target audience than us at Miller and Moulton. So let us help you make money. You can reach out to Mark at that Mark Miller or me at the David Moulton on X, or text us at 21,000. We have a proven product, a good reputation, and lots of quality segments that we can attach your company's name to. Miller and Moulton, we're like that old pizza box. You've had the rest. Now try the best. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
This is Miller and Moulton.
I did get good news. I'm not going home Friday for good. I get to go home Friday for the weekend to be with my daughter on her birthday. And I've got to come up here next week. I've got a lot of tests that I have to do and vaccines that I have to get. And there's just a little bit too much going on for him to let me leave on Wednesday or on Friday. And he said, every time I let someone go early, it bites him in the ass, basically. So he said he's not going to let me go home early. I'm okay with that. I kind of thought that was the answer. So I will do the show from home Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday right now is completely up in the air. I don't know if we're going to be doing a show Wednesday because we are going to a new system on Monday, and I'm going to need a little help from one of our affiliates, and I don't know if we're going to get that. So there very well may be a best of on Wednesday. I will know later today. It's the only attitude you can have, Paula. You listen to the doctors and you do what they say. Doctors and nurses know more than I do. Able to see a couple yesterday when I got here. They went home from here yesterday. She's got a big surgery coming up in a month. Really good people, rooting for them. She's dealing with some serious, you know what. Trust me, people have it worse. I don't think they can play enough games there, Ryan. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I don't think they could. I mean, I guess you could because you're adding 8 teams. You could go morning for 4 teams both days. So yeah, I guess you could. But I don't know if Dayton has the hotels. I mean, we are talking about Dayton, Ohio, after all.
Well, they've said they're going to have a second location. They haven't said what that location is going to be. You want to do your happy story?
I would do it 21. It's not that. I mean, it's not. There's not a lot there.
Okay. Got anything here?
Not really, David. Unfortunately.
All right.
I mean, we can. Obviously, there's a lot of. Yeah. To me, just going through whether it's going back to Tampa, Montreal. Going back to your favorite pasta. I could go in a lot of directions here.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this hump day. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll head to Philly in about 35 minutes. A lot to talk about in the sports world there. Rob Ellis to join us. Seth Everett in an hour. We head to Detroit in a little over 90 minutes. Can the Magic win it and be an 8 seed that takes down the 1 in the NBA? Doesn't happen very often.
How many times has it happened, David? Do you know off the top? I mean, I remember 1, and I'm guessing I thought there was 1.
Well, I know there's at least 2. Is the one you're remembering Denver over Seattle?
Yes.
Okay. Now, remember, that was a best of 5 when the Knicks beat the Heat in the 1999 season when they only played 50 games. The Knicks got in as the 8, even though those 2 teams were separated kind of like the Lightning and the Canadians by not much. And technically when the Knicks won game 5 by a point. So that was 2 8s that beat 1s, but those were in best of 5s.
So it's never happened in a best of 7 series.
I'm going to have to look it up.
Okay.
Because like
All
last
right, fair
year,
enough.
when Golden State beat Houston last year, that was a 7 taken down to 2. So I'll have to look it up since they've gone to 7, how many times the 8 has beaten the 1. But
did the Heat do it as an 8 as a play-in, or did they end up getting a 7?
No. I thought they did it as an 8 against Milwaukee a couple years ago. I thought that was a 1-8.
All right, so that would be a 7-game series.
Yeah. And what was shocking, they did what the Magic are trying to do tonight, if I remember correctly. I thought Miami went into Milwaukee and ended it in 5. They didn't even mess around. They're like, no, we're ending the sucker tonight.
So that's 3 that we've got, 2 in a best of 5, 1 in a best of 7 series. And look at, in today's basketball, you need to be able to make 3-point shots. Detroit really doesn't have a good shooting team. Detroit and Orlando are almost mirror images of one another. They're defense-first teams. What did Orlando go get in the offseason? A 3-point shooter.
And they gave up a lot, too. I mean, they gave up, between the whole first-round picks and pick swaps, I think they gave up 4 first-round picks and a pick swap, and then signed Bain to a big money 5-year extension.
And just quickly, David, this is why I don't want the NFL to extend how far out you can give picks. You have GMs that are trading picks in the NBA. Like Joe Dumars, and I know that was a little closer pick. That was actually within the limit that the NFL could even do. But, he traded to move up in the draft and gave away an unprotected first-round pick that's going to just crush the Pelicans. That could end up being a top 10 pick in what's going to be a great draft.
Yes.
But some of these teams, we don't even know when they have picks. And you can't do years in a row. So we've got picks in the 2030s that have already been traded. I just find that difficult as a fan to follow. And I don't want the NFL to start doing NBA things. That's all.
For the record, Mark, 6 times an 8 has beaten a 1 in the NBA. 4 times since they've gone to a best of 7. We detailed the 2 times in a best of 5, 94 and 99. We detailed the last time it was done 3 years ago when the Heat beat the Bucks as an 8 seed. But Golden State beat Dallas in 07. Think about how big of a shocker that was. The Mavs had lost in the finals to the Heat the year before in a series that they were favored to win. They come back as the 1 seed the next year out west, and Golden State beats them in 6. Memphis beats San Antonio in 6 in 2011, and the Sixers beat the Bulls in 6 in 2012. So it's happened 6 times total, 4 since they've gone to best of 7. Can the Magic be the 5th 8 seed to win an NBA playoff series in the best of 7 era? That's later tonight.
So we shall see. We'll talk with Jake Chapman, as he says, the audio voice of the Magic. You're no longer a radio voice. You're an audio voice.
That's true. It shows my age there. My bad.
Oh, no, not you. Someone asked, someone asked in the chat room, is he the radio voice? And I had to look up because I couldn't remember. We've had both on, and I'm like, I think he is. And he defines himself on his X page as the audio voice. Well played. Well played, Mr. Chapman. I like that.
All right. I'm going to try to give you some numbers in the Canadians Lightning series, but Mark, just about every number shows the obvious. How damn close this series is. 4 one-goal games. So obviously, since it's 2-2, each team scored the same amount of goals. Okay. High danger chances. Apparently, they're even goal scored 5-5.
You know,
All
that
right.
makes me laugh. When I did the Everblades games, and I quit doing play-by-play because I didn't want to travel late in my tenure there. And Mark Haney, longtime radio host in Southwest Florida, was the public address announcer. When he couldn't do games for whatever reason, sick, conflict, whatever the case may be, I would usually do the PA. And we had a guy by the name of Gary Myers, who was the clock operator. And Gary was a veterinarian in Port Charlotte and loved hockey and drove down. And just the danger thing got me thinking about it. Every time the puck would get in the high slot for the opposition, there wasn't rooting going on in that box, but everybody wanted the Everblades to win. That was the team we were working for. But you couldn't outwardly root because these guys are off ice officials. They're wearing league shirts. And every time the puck would get in a high scoring chance, Gary very quietly in the booth would go, danger, danger. And you made me think of the danger scoring chances there. So I thought I'd share, David.
Mark, the danger scoring chances are tied in this series, which is tied at 2, in which each team has scored the exact same amount of goals. Mark, the Lightning have the territorial edge in play, 50.27% to 49.73%.
You're reaching right now, Moulton.
No, I'm giving you the numbers instead of talking about momentum and home ice, and that's all you get from NHL people. They don't give you, I'm at least
wait
giving
a minute.
you
NHL people or 4-letter network people, because I really don't consider those people NHL people. Sorry, I don't.
Well, most of them aren't, that's for sure. All right, but Mark, I got to tell you, I love my NHL network radio. They don't talk about much more than just, what a great scene and momentum and, the obvious, hey.
All right, so give me more analytics.
Well, high scoring chances, apparently the Canadians 55 to 45%. Okay. Now, how many times it's hit the back of the net's identical, but basically, Mark, even when you dig into the analytics in this series, you know what it tells you? The series is tied. These two teams are very closely matched. No team has one clear statistical edge over the other. There's really only one thing to me that stands out in this series. Brandon Hagel. I mean, what's he got? 6 goals? I mean, 6 of their, 11? I mean, to me, that's what stands out in this series. And I didn't catch it post-game the night it happened, but I caught it yesterday. Did you hear Cooper's comments about Hagel? He said, quote, he's the straw that stirs our drink. And he said, we got a lot of good players on this team, but that's basically the guy we're following right now.
Isn't it great that an SI cover from when is that, early 80s? The Darryl Strawberry. I mean, no one said that phrase about sports before. Darryl Strawberry's on the cover of Sports Illustrated. You'll know the year, but David, you and I are, we grew up a long ways apart. We grew up, you're a little bit older than I am, but come on. We ran to the damn mailbox, or you ran to the apartment mail thing in the middle of your complex, wherever you got your mail, and you opened the mail when you got home from school, whether it was Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, whatever the hell day the thing came on. I think Thursday is when you got SI, and you lived for your Sports Illustrated. And that was we didn't say that about players. Darryl Strawberry has given us a lot in this world, a lot of punchlines because he had his demons. But the straw that stirs the drink is an SI cover with Darryl Strawberry on it. And now John Cooper is using it to talk about one of his players over 40 years later.
The first time I ever heard it, Reggie used it to describe himself. He signs with the Yankees as a free agent after his 1 year in Baltimore that nobody remembers. And he actually was really good, and so were the Orioles. They didn't win the division. The Yankees did, but they won 90-plus games. He had a really good year. Nobody remembers that year. Anyway, signs in the offseason with the Yankees. And he said, I'm going to be the straw that stirs this drink. Because the Yankees had gotten to the World Series in 76, got swept by the Reds. So George signed Reggie to, get over the hump. And Reggie said, oh, we're getting over the hump. Why? Me. I'm going to be the straw that stirs this drink. And the word was that Piniella and Nettles and Munson all looked at that quote and were like, oh, for goodness sakes, really? This is what we're going to have to deal with? Billy Martin saw that quote and was like, oh, blank.
All right. Well, I guess I'm wrong, but I don't remember hearing it from a sports phrase until that cover.
Well, but also
what you're talking about long before that.
Right. You were 7, though, when Reggie said that, about himself. But you're right. He didn't, it made the New York Post and the Daily News in print, but it didn't make Sports Illustrated, which, was clearly the biggest sports publication of the 20th century. And you're right, Mark. As kids, we ran to the mailbox. We raced off that school bus and ran to the mailbox.
Now, a lot of that was because one issue a year we had to get to before our mom did. I don't know. Was it Kathy Ireland? Finger in the mouth with covering her chest area because she wasn't wearing anything? Yeah, Not that I remember any of those issues or anything.
Paulina Poroskova.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right, Christy.
And that Elle McPherson. She seemed to be attractive too. Miller and Moulton.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise. On 16100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
The Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
This is Miller and Moulton.
It is embarrassing, David. Like, I was trying to find playoff numbers. I don't know where you got that. If you got that at NHL.com on the edge thing there. Even on NHL.com, they don't, like, I can't get head-to-head playoff series numbers. ESPN, it's still regular season stuff. Score, still regular season stuff. I mean, I wanted quickly to look up what the power play numbers are. I think Montreal has one more power play goal, but I'm not positive, and I'd have to go through every game. And I got to be honest, I don't feel like it. Because I thought because they've been pretty even, and I thought in game one they had one more. I would have to look back at that. But it's come on. Well, I mean, Chris, it's a pretty tough poll question. It's if you wanted to ask, because one, you'd have to limit it to 4. 2, you are basically telling anybody that's under the age of 40 they don't matter. I mean, it's a fun thing to discuss. You could do a podcast on it, but remember, you're not being mean, because I love SI too, but you show your age when you talk about magazines. My daughter wouldn't know what a magazine is. John's kids, our former producer, were enamored with this thing called a newspaper the other day. They'd never seen one before. No, Drutharian, I know you were probably just joining us. We talked about it earlier in the show. It's horrific. No. It's not. Don't be sorry. Everybody joins the show differently. I don't want you to be sorry. No, you're right. It's not needed. David went, almost out of body for it. We think it's awful. Everybody in the sport thinks it's awful, Druthari, and that's the part that has David and I a little miffed. That this is all Sankey, despite everybody not wanting this. And this is putting conference ahead of the sport, conference ahead of collegiate athletics. This is greed. And, we promote greed in this country. And when commissioners do it, then we get mad. So.
Well, the other thing that really sucks about this is, I mean, we're all going to be scribbling in our NCAA tournament brackets Thursday morning, right? Going online at 6, 7 in the morning and clicking buttons because it's going to take so long for the field to be set.
You got it. The second point, we're going to be clicking buttons. I don't think there'll be a lot of scribbling.
Well,
but yeah, no,
I know, Mark, I'm old. I get it.
Well, I mean, but no, we've talked about it. That's why the brackets aren't as popular, David, because we don't write them anymore.
True. That's true.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Rob Ellis, a little more than 15 minutes, will join us live from Philly. Nothing to talk about in that sports town. Nothing going on. Nah, nothing. Seth Everett, top of the hour. Jake Chapman, a little over an hour. Magic trying to become the 5th NBA team since they've gone to best of 7 in the first round as an 8 seed to beat a 1. Hell, they're trying to win their first playoff series since 2010. That is the fun part about these playoffs so far, Mark, isn't it? Okay, you've got all the Sabres haven't been on the winning end of the handshake line in 19 years. Wild haven't gotten out of the first round in 11 years. Magic haven't gotten out of the first round in 16 years. I mean, we got teams that are making the playoffs for the first time in a while. I mean, it seems to be a fun first round.
I agree. Totally agree. And, and I'm wondering, David, and I had to look it up, David, we're not paying a lot of attention to this. And by we, I mean the entire sports world. The Anaheim Ducks haven't won a playoff series since 2017. I mean, but we don't even realize that they're in the playoffs.
Well, and unfortunately for those of us that have turned the TV on, we've seen their uniforms and we're wanting them to not be back in the playoffs for a long time.
Well, you and I were stunned and shocked and appalled that Pittsburgh comes back home after winning game 4 in Philadelphia. They lost their first 2 home games, and yet they put on those god-awful yellow things in game 5 and won. And I mean, David sent me a text, why are they wearing those hideous things again? And I literally laughed out loud. I didn't type LOL. I did LOL because I mean, moments before I saw David's text, I looked at my wife. I went, what are they wearing those things for?
Well, didn't she even complain about it?
She hates them. She thinks they're awful looking.
Right. Ugh.
They won a few cups wearing those black jerseys. That's all I know.
Hello. Ohio State, real simple. A helmet with the Buckeyes. I mean, come on. This is not that complicated.
So, yeah, there's a lot of playoff droughts that could be ended this year. So we shall see. David, I'm very scared to bring this story up, not because it's a bad story, but because I'm afraid I'm going to get punked and that it may not be true because it's an internet only thing. And I have searched very hard to find a news source to confirm it. But a lot of different people on the web, whether it's X, Instagram, Facebook, have put this up. And I think it's a fun, nice story. It's just nice.
Okay.
Apparently, there is a 4th grade teacher in Illinois. And she used Caleb Williams' passing yards to teach her kids math.
Right.
You and I love this stuff. Now, I don't know if the girls in that class got into it, but I sure as hell know that as a boy, as an only child, there is so much math I did figuring out sports crap growing up, whether it was, playing the made up version of our own basically Stratomatic baseball that I had in the neighborhood. We called it dice baseball. We had an NBA game that we played on boards with percentages, typed the damn standings on a typewriter. That's how I learned how to type. I would take the agate page and basically transpose it onto paper just because it was fun for me when I was at my grandparents' house and there was nothing to do. So you and I are both pretty good. You're excellent. I think I'm pretty damn good at quick math, whether it's adding numbers. You've got the fractions thing down to percentages. That baffles me. You've memorized all those, and I don't have that. That's an edge, Moulton, and it ain't close.
You know why, though? You just talked about all the stat work you did as a young person. I was the one that did our Little League stats for the team. So after every game, I had to update the stats. Okay.
So 3 for 8, you knew what that you
go. 375. Okay. Right. There we go.
Right. So with that being said, this teacher in Illinois used Caleb Williams' passing yards to help teach her kids math. It's a good, fun story.
Yeah.
And I credit any teacher that does something a little differently to maybe get her kids to learn. Well, she, and this is where I don't know because not one news outlet has picked this up. It's all over the internet. But, an ESPN, the Chicago papers, whatever the case may be, no one's picked it up yet. No one's talked to her. This is where I'm scared I'm going to find out that this was a big hoax in a few days. And if it was, you got me. But apparently Caleb Williams sent this teacher an autographed jersey. And he's a guy who has gotten ripped about a lot of crap over the past few years, from his college days and baiting his nails and being just a different guy. Not good, bad, or just he's different. And we don't like different, particularly when it comes to our NFL quarterbacks. Hell, Colin Cowherd spent 3 years ripping Baker Mayfield because he wore his hat backward. I mean, you do anything that's different at that position, and the media just has a fad, you are at your job. And so the fact that Caleb Williams, one, he's fun to watch. He truly is. I don't know if he'll be special as far as like an all-time great, but he's going to pull some wins out of his you-know-what over. He already has, but I think that will continue in Chicago. I think he and Ben Johnson may be a very good combination going forward because Ben's a guy who thinks out of the box. But just the fact that if this is true, and that Caleb Williams found out that this teacher was using his passing yards to help kids with math and then sent her a jersey. I hope it's true and good for him. If I'm punked, I'm punked.
Reason why I don't think you're going to be punked is I saw something on social media in which I saw the teacher opening up the jersey from the box in the classroom.
Right.
So that's
and I
why
saw her holding the jersey
right.
up and it's autographed. Right.
Right. So that's why I don't think you're going to be punked. First off, I mean, listen, you and I root for greatness. You and I don't want anybody to get hurt. We want everybody starting quarterback to be the real deal. I hope he plays 15 years and has a Hall of Fame career. I don't know if he's ever going to pull more wins out of his than they did last year, though. I mean, what are they, 6 wins when trailing at the 2-minute warning last year between the regular season and the playoffs? I mean, I don't know if they'll ever have a year like that.
No, but yes. Look, I'm not trying to compare him to this guy because he's got a long ways to go. But Mahomes, has done more of it. So there's something about that it factor. When you can do that, it seemingly happens more often than not.
But when you were just saying he is fun, oh my goodness. I mean, honestly, when is the last time the Bears on offense were fun? Last year, the
Walter
Bears.
Payton.
Yeah. Last year, the Bears they were fun last year to watch. Now you had to wait. It was kind of like an NBA game. Sometimes you had to wait till, fourth quarter and final moments. But let me tell you, they were fun. One of the most remarkable stats continues, though, with Caleb Williams and the Bears. Remember when they drafted him, it's like, maybe he'll be the first Bears quarterback to ever throw for 4,000 yards in a season. Can you believe that? The Bears haven't had a 4,000-yard passer. Well, now we're at 17 games. Now he's playing in Ben Johnson's offense. And Mark, I think the final numbers were 3,942 yards. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Figure it out. Keep track of those stats.
Got a little bit further to go there. You got a little bit further to go.
Just late in the season this coming year. Come on. Somebody's got to be up in the booth and go, don't take them out yet, Ben. No. We need the yards. What do you mean we need the yards? Just trust me. A couple screen passes here. Just to throw some flanker screens. We need the yards. What? LaFleur's going to punch me when I go over for the handshake. No. He'll understand. Explain it later.
By the way, I think the Packers might be 10.5, but the Bears over under 9.5. I think Detroit's is 9.5. I mean, that whole division's right around the same damn number.
Well, didn't you read that yesterday? Isn't Denver's over under 9.5?
Denver's over under is less than the Chiefs over under. Talk about no respect at all.
What, they went 14 last year?
There's What is it? The Eagles, the Rams, and the Ravens are each 11.5. Those are the two highest. Miller and Moulton. Thanks for joining us on a hump day.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
This is Miller and Moulton.
I mean, Capco, explain how I'm the king of fake stories. I asked you, but you didn't respond there. Go ahead. I'm very curious. I mean, that's basically telling me that I make things up to do a radio show, which I don't do. I know I got burned once when I was doing the starting five about 6 months ago on something that wasn't true, and I apologize profusely for it, but please explain. I mean, I spent an hour yesterday, this morning actually, trying to find a news story to back that up. I didn't even want to read it because I didn't know if it was true. I couldn't back it up with an actual news source. What is it that I make up, please? Because to be brutally honest, I'm offended by that. I work pretty damn hard at what I do for a living. And for you to say I'm the king of fake stories basically says I'm a fraud and a liar. And that's bothersome. So explain where you're coming from. Oh, I'm not upset. I back it up with facts. Show me. Tell me to go back to, podcast and listen. I'll apologize for them. Well, I quick math, and I guess I meant simple math, Johnny. I don't look at algorithms as simple math, but I appreciate any time that we bring something up, you telling us that we're wrong. You're always there for us, Johnny O.
I don't think we'd heard from him all week.
Well, he didn't think we'd been wrong about much. So whenever he thinks we're wrong, I mean, Puck did it. I brought up, you got to make more 3-pointers. He found one game where it didn't happen, and that's the first thing he brings up. Yes, there are exceptions to every rule. I'll take the team that makes most 3-pointers damn near every game. Tim, it's the best quote in the history of this show. Wish it were mine.
I apologize.
It's an all-time great.
Way out of line.
No, Johnny Finger Lakes. There's a Johnny on YouTube as well. Canada Relief, to your anthem thing, I still think one of the funniest things I've ever been a part of is I was involved in a 20-team fantasy football league for years. A lot of these guys all knew each other. They're all went to Naples High kids. And I'm not in the league anymore because you had to be at the draft. But one of the guys in the league, Steve Mace, I believe is his last name, was dating a girl from Canada. and the draft would turn into a roaring party by the time it ended, and we would just get obnoxiously drunk. And his girlfriend walked in late in the draft, and we all sang the Canadian anthem to her. Good morning, Rob.
Morning, guys. How we doing?
Doing great. How about you?
Doing well. Thank you.
Yeah, nothing to talk about in the spring, so good luck.
Oh, God.
My goodness. I mean, we don't know which sport we want to talk to you about because they've all got something. Here we go.
Let's hit them all.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till Seth Everett makes his weekly appearance here on Miller and Moulton. 1 hour from now, we'll head to Detroit. The audio voice of the Orlando Magic, Jake Chapman. Orlando trying to make some history, be just the 5th NBA team since they've gone to a best of 7 as an 8 seed to knock off a 1. They'd also win their first playoff series in 16 years. But first, we go live to Philly. Rob Ellis, WIP in Philly. Follow him on X at REllis Sports. You know, when I reached out to you, Rob, I just thought we'd talk about the Phillies and, firing their manager. But my goodness, get in line. You guys have so much to talk about. But let's start there. Were people clamoring for it, or did this actually come off as a little bit of a surprise this soon?
It was not a surprise. Clamoring for it. I would say there were a good amount of people clamoring for it. Although I will say the view of this is pretty balanced from people. They look at it, and there's much more blame from the Philadelphia fans for Dave Dombrowski than there was for Rob Thompson. I think everybody looked at this as an eventuality. When you start like this and you have these kind of expectations and that kind of payroll, someone's paying the price, and it's never the players. We know that. So Rob Thompson was the easy fall guy here. But Dombrowski constructed this thing, and he has an unbelievable reputation for what he's done elsewhere, and did a good job in the early years here, spending a lot of money, but of late has done a very poor job. And I think there's a lot more angst and anger towards him than there was toward Rob Thompson. I think people felt like, maybe they had tuned him out and it was probably time to do something. And Dodd Mattingly sitting there made it probably a lot easier, even though Alex Cora was the number one choice. But yeah, I think ultimately Phillies fans were realistic enough to know that something had to happen, and it was Rob Thompson.
Well, obviously, this is a very veteran team, to put it mildly. You could almost say an old team now.
Yeah.
But where was Dombrowski wrong, and can this ship be righted by September?
Well, he was wrong in not getting a legitimate right-handed bat. They are horrendous against left-handed pitching, particularly solid left-handed starters. They don't do anything against them. And he went on the hope that Adolis Garcia was going to be, an able body in right field because the Nick Castellanos thing didn't work out. There are a lot of holes here, guys, and none of them particularly hit left-handed pitching well. Last year, Schwarber did. He hasn't hit against left-handed pitching as well. Harper's been really good. That's the thing that gets sort of lost in all this. He's actually been really good. The guy Dombrowski sort of questioned a little bit in the offseason. But the likes of Bryson Stott and Alec Boehm and others have really, really hurt them. So that he went wrong there. He ran it back. And he basically told everybody, this is baseball. Sometimes it just happens in the playoffs and everything's fine, when we knew everything wasn't fine, especially from an offensive standpoint.
I know we've got a lot of other teams to get to. This is my last thing. Is this the time to try to pry Trout away from the Angels? They've just lost 9 of 10. He's 34? He's healthy for the first time in a while. Okay. I know he's only hitting around 250, but he's slugging the ball. Okay. We all know his love he lives in South Jersey. He's got Eagles season tickets. I think they need him. I mean, is this the time to pry Trout away?
I think two things, David, on that. I don't know that they're going to be willing to take on that kind of payroll where they're at this point with the luxury tax and just keep adding on to this. I would say if they start making this close by the trade deadline, I would not say that that's out of the question at all. I'm not completely shooting it down, But I think with his injury history, they're probably smart to let it play out a little bit and see if he holds up. You're right. I mean, he's for a guy who was like 5 tool, he's sort of become just like a slugger, which is fine. I mean, they need that. They need a right-handed bat. The thing they lack more than anything else is a 4-hole hitter. You know, the top of the order goes Turner and Schwarber and Harper, and then you fall off a cliff. So Trout would make a lot of sense in the 4-hole for them. You'd plug him into center. You'd move some things around there. The Justin Crawford's playing center right now, and he's not really a center fielder at this point in his career. It would make sense. If I were them, I'd let it play out to see how my team does, see if he holds up.
All right. Who's puckering more? Flyers players, Flyers fans, or is Gritty going to have a new, scumbag on the back of his jersey tonight? I love the way they've embraced it. It's been hilarious as a hockey fan. I love it because I think they play with an edge, and it's perfect style for the history of that team. But this sucker was over, and I thought you better get game 5. Because if it comes home, now the pressure shifts. Now you're at home. Now you have to win. Talk about the Flyers and who looked great in this series. And, one bad bounce. And that Letang goal was lucky. There's no two ways about it. But they were down 2-0 early in that game. They came back. They give away a lucky one. Now the pressure shifts back to the Flyers. They're a young team. How are they going to handle it?
Here, to answer your pucker question, I'm going to say the fans are puckering more. We're always looking for a safe to fall on our heads, guys. You know that. I mean, we're at any time, even when things are really good, we're waiting for that. I would say, I think what you mentioned, Mark, is the beauty and the advantage. I think when you have 19 and 20-year-olds, I don't know that they know any better. Like, I feel like there's more of an element of a choke if you've been around and seen it a little. Like, I don't think Porter Martone, who's literally 19, was born the same year Crosby broke in. I don't know that phases him the same way. Like, I think he's fine. I think the players are going to be fine. I think having a guy like Tocchet, who's been there, done that as a player and a coach on both sides of this thing with Pittsburgh and Philly, I think helps. Like, he knows the right buttons to push. The other night he sat Matvei Michkov and puts Alex Bump in there. And Alex Bump, you could make a case, was the best player on the ice. And he's another young kid. So I think he'll be fine. I think they win this game tonight. I don't think it's going to be easy. It's not going to be easy against a veteran team like Pittsburgh at all. I think this thing is down to the wire, potentially overtime, just battle. But I think the players are going to be okay. Like, I don't think it's a choking situation or a situation where they're all of a sudden in a panic. I think they're young enough and dumb enough not to know any better, which is a real good thing for them.
How great is it, though, that this franchise is relevant again because it's such a great hockey city? Okay, how great is it? And now, they can feel the second round, even if that's where it ends. Say Carolina outclasses and wins in 5. I mean, Rob, the Flyers are back playing hockey.
Yeah, David, it's cool. And I try not to be like, Clint Eastwood and Gran Torino. Let me tell you something, kids. But what, for all the young people where hockey's been irrelevant their whole life, if you're like a 25-year-old or a 22-year-old, you barely remember 2010 when they went to the Cup against the Blackhawks. It's really cool. It's really cool to see the city sort of like blooming in the spring here. And it's an awakening a little bit for a lot of people. Like, oh, that's what this is. Every shift is this kind of intensity. This is what hockey is. So it's really cool to see that part of it. What it's also cool, the older folks who maybe got so frustrated that drifted away a little bit, who were just diehards, have come back. And it's great to see sort of both of those worlds combined. But yeah, you do. I forgot, it was out of my system a little bit. And it's like, wow, man, this is what it should be. And it's really cool. And they've done a hell of a job bringing it back. They have.
Well, and I mean, the teams with the Bernie Perron shirts and his passing and them embracing Perron and the great history there. And as a Michigan State guy, I followed Martone. And when he and Letang are paired up at the end of the game, one's 39, one's 19. I'm like, well, when are you going to see that? I mean, maybe don't play him in a game of pool. You might lose, but in a fight, you're going to kick his ass. I think the other good thing here is this series was really chippy early. It'll be physical tonight, but it seemed, at least in the last game, that even though they're a young team, they understood not to do the stupid thing. And sometimes young teams make those mistakes. because you don't want to put Sidney Crosby on a lot of power plays. And I thought having Tocchet there steadying them, they played, reasonably smart hockey. Yeah, they had a bad break, but they get down 2, they come back, and it was a lucky goal. And I think, like you said earlier, Tocchet can justify that to this team and keep them level-headed for tonight.
Yeah, I think so too. You were right, and you great point, because Martone and I think it was Letang squared off at the end, and you're like, just don't do anything. It's going to get you suspended or something stupid. But yeah, they haven't been drawn into some of the annex that you get. Crosby's going to flop. That. Okay, so don't be the retaliator, right? Don't get nailed as far as that goes. What Letang and Malkin have been throughout a lot of their career. So just be smart about this thing. But they do have to be physical. Like, I want to see more physicality like we saw in games 1 and games 2 from guys like Owen Tippett. Owen Tippett's a really skilled player, fast player, but he's got to be more physical. I know he's a little bit banged up right now, but that's what you have to do. You have to take it to him. And I think it's really key, guys, to get the early goal, because here's what's going to happen. You know how great home ice, home field, home court, whatever is when you're in your barn, okay? But when the other team scores first, it is Sphincter City, okay? It gets quiet and everybody is sort of like, there's this hush that comes over the place and it's palpable. So get the early lead in this thing and let the roof pop off.
Rob Ellis, WIP in Philly. For the many people that listen to us and watch us in Michigan, he provides content on Bet Parks. You can use Bet Parks in Michigan. Rob Ellis, R. Ellis Sports on X. All right. Remember all the controversy surrounding the Eagles just a few weeks ago? The coaching staff hates each other, the quarterback, and this, that, and the other thing. Now it seems as if we planned the parade. That's how well this draft went. I mean, wow, what a week. Yeah,
that's Howie, right? So, yeah, I thought they had a really good draft, guys. And you include the Grenard trade in that, certainly. You incorporate that in there. I think what you're seeing is, we all know it's an eventuality in about a month and change that A.J. Brown's going to be traded. He's fortified this in a different way. You're not going to just get someone who's apples to apples for A.J. Brown. But what they've done is they've gotten Lemon from USC, who's a stronger guy, who's a contested catch guy, to pair with Devontae Smith. That's going to be 1-2. But they've done a really good job of getting depth at the 3, at the 4, at the 5 now, with which they didn't have last year. So that was the smart play. And it's going to be more of a distribution thing to get Stowers, who I loved coming out of Vanderbilt. And he's a bit of a project because he's learning a position still. But to get him as the incumbent now for Dallas Goedert, you kind of see the vision and you see what they're doing here. The one thing I would say is I think they're a little bit light at safety. We'll see about offensive line. They're going to need these guys to stay healthy. But, yeah, I thought they had a really good weekend overall, fortifying this thing, especially at the edge with getting Grenard.
The only thing, it's not a negative about Philadelphia because they're the class of the division and one of the class teams of the NFC. This division looks like it's getting better quickly. I mean, the amount of wins that you expect out of the East in the past. Well, the Giants aren't the same team they were just a year ago. I think Washington will be improved. Dallas looked like they had a good draft. The East isn't as foregone of a conclusion for me anymore, Rob. Is it for you?
No, I agree with you 100%. I mean, think about how many times the division's been won back-to-back, in the last 20 plus years, right? So, I agree with you. I mean, getting Harbaugh changes everything as far as I'm concerned for the Giants. We'll see if Dart can stay healthy. I think that's going to be the key to them, but he stabilizes things. I hate to say it, the Cowboys had a great draft. We'll see how they screw it up. Jerry tends to do that, all on his own. But they did. That was an A draft for me, what Dallas ended up doing. And I think Washington, a lot of things went wrong last year. A lot of injuries, a lot of bad stuff. So you don't quite write them off. Yeah, it's going to be a very competitive division. I think in totality, it's a really good division. I think that the North's good, the Central, whatever, is really, really good as well. So yeah, I think it's going to be a battle for the Eagles. The biggest thing we're going to have to see, guys, is can Jalen Hurts adapt to this offense with Sean Mannion? Can they adapt to the McVay offense where he's doing things that are out of his comfort zone? And I think that's really what a lot of this comes down to for the Eagles. They're still really good defensively. There's still tons of talent there. And they still have a hell of a guy, pulling the strings in Howie Roseman. So that's what it amounts to.
Reminds me a lot of when he was at Alabama and he went to Oklahoma and he had to adjust and he did. Quickly, got 90 seconds tops. Anybody care about the Sixers, and can they win a damn home game?
They care. They were completely written off by everybody here last night. That was a foregone conclusion. The season was over. Forget it. They're going to get their doors blown off in Boston. I don't know. It's a weird series. I don't know. I mean, they go up there. They win in 2 in there, and they come back last night. I think part of it is, and I'd be worried a little bit if I'm a Boston fan going forward. I think Boston wins this thing tomorrow, but that they tend to take their foot off the pedal sometimes. Boston a little bit, but give the Sixers a lot of credit. It was a gutty effort. Embiid, who is obviously, the target of a lot of criticism here and nationally as well. I thought really put forth a gutty effort. And, Maxey, who's playing, it sounds like nothing, but it is a big deal with a really bad pinky on his shooting hand. It screws up his shot. I thought he was awesome last night. And they got help elsewhere, which they really needed. Paul George did just enough, and some others. I think ultimately there's too much talent with Boston, and they woke up. But do the fans care? They care, but there's so much aggravation with the organization that it's tough.
Rob Ellis, WIP in Philly. Follow him on X at R. Sports. Rob, be well. Thanks for your time. Miller and
Pleasure,
Moulton.
guys.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
The
sound.
Floor Meisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floor Meisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow and Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow and Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow and Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
If you're a business who targets men, please know there is no better and more economical way to reach your target audience than us at Miller and Moulton. So let us help you make money. You can reach out to Mark at that Mark Miller or me at the David Moulton on X, or text us at 21,000. We have a proven product, a good reputation, and lots of quality segments that we can attach your company's name to. Miller and Moulton, we're like that old pizza box. You've had the rest. Now try the best. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
This is Miller and Moulton.
You doing calisthenics there?
Did you run a race?
I made it. I took the kid. But the difference is this time I set it all up at like 7:20. And I raced back and I got here.
Well, take a minute. You're winded.
Yeah, I did. I took the stairs. because no time for the elevator. No, just stairs. Come on.
Good for you. Good for
Turn
you.
my light on.
Wow, must be a
I just
really
want to find
slow.
out, is your daughter ready for the game tonight? 7:00.
No, they're playing a different game. This is crazy. These seniors, they're doing this game with water guns, and you get a target, and you have to find your target and shoot them, and you have to get them wet, and you have to film it and send it to a person who's running the game. So my kid right now is staking out another girl's house as she goes to school to shoot her with a water pistol.
I like it. I like it.
I love this game so much.
That's a fun game.
I know.
That's
play
harmless.
So badly.
That's fun. Little strategy. I'm all for it.
Yeah, and you get you and a partner, and you don't know who's getting you. So you just know you have your targets. Oh, such a fun game.
Question. How slow is the elevator?
I don't know, but it's the morning, so people sometimes are leaving, so people are getting on it. I mean, it's only four floors, but
Well, it's
I
not
take the stairs
necessarily
anyway.
how long it takes to get from 0 to 4. It's how long you have to wait for the door.
No, I know. It just encompass the whole thing.
Yeah. I like taking the stairs anyway, but when I pressed the button, it wasn't coming right away. And I was like, screw this. And I just
All right. Good for you.
I made it.
David, how we have been guilty before the NFL season of putting our records together, and however many games there are have far more wins than losses.
Right.
If you were to take the over-unders, they would have the league at about 50 games over 500.
So bet the under. So bet a lot of unders.
I think if you bet all the unders, you'd win money. I mean, I'm sure it's probably set up differently than that, but I mean, the over-under in the North, every team, again, if you bet overs, they're all going over 500. Minnesota has the lowest over-under at 8.5. The Bears are at 9.5. Lions and Packers at 10.5.
Oh my!
Exactly.
Daughter's 29 today, Seth.
Wow! Happy birthday!
Yeah.
Wow! 29.
This will be the last birthday we celebrate.
Huh?
Well, you know how women are at 30. I mean, it's tough to celebrate a birthday after 29.
I have a buddy of mine in Seattle who's been 29 for 33 years.
Exactly.
I didn't mind 30. I really was bothered by 26. That was the only birthday of my life that bothered me. I was closer to 30 than I was 20. Wasn't where I wanted to be career-wise. That for whatever reason threw me. Not any other birthday. I had no problem with any other birthday in my life.
Hated 30. They threw
Loved
it great.
30. Well, I met my ex 29.
Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
We are halfway home, at least in Jacksonville and Tampa St. Pete, on this hump day, final hour of the show. Live Oak Lake City and surrounding areas, Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte, Venice surrounding areas, and, of course, the old stomping grounds in Southwest Florida. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Seth Everett joins us. He of Sports with Friends, Hall of Justice, 2 terrific podcasts. Follow him on X at Seth_Everett. Top of the morning to you. How are you?
Good morning, gents. Fun Sports with Friends today. Muggsy Bogues.
Ooh, look at you going old school.
Yeah. We talk about short basketball players.
Not many of them left.
Nope.
I mean, that's another thing. There was a whole era where a 6'1", 6'2" point guard could play. That's not so much anymore. And I know
we'll talk
Muggsy
about
was
today's
smaller than that.
NBA and things like that. But yeah, he's really fun.
Did
Really
he or did you get him to reveal what his exact height was? Because wasn't he listed in the like 5'5" territory?
He's 5'3".
Wow.
He's 5'3", and like he's got such a small frame. That was wild. We had fun on
Well,
Zoom.
Dean Smith said he only came up with 2 special defenses in his whole career to combat players. One was Ralph Sampson and one was Muggsy Bogues.
I told a buddy of mine that I had him on, when I was putting it together last night, and he said he saw Muggsy Bogues block Patrick Ewing. I'd like
Probably
to know
from
how that's
behind.
possible.
Probably from behind. That would seem to be the only way,
Right?
Kind of come from the side or behind and better time that jump right, if you know what I mean. But he could lead. Muggsy Bogues could get up, man.
Yeah, he could.
So
Spud Webb next week. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Seth, I know your daughter is about to graduate high school. We've talked about it a lot, but is she ready tonight? A big game 5, her new team, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Big home game tonight for the Lightning. Will that game be on, and will she discuss you with her rooting for Tampa Bay?
Yeah, it's a big game. They play Montreal. That series has been great. The Pittsburgh series, the last game was really fun. Minnesota, Dallas has been great. I've enjoyed the hockey playoffs. I've had a great time. It's more fun when you have a horse in the race, but it's still the best postseason in sports.
Mark, did you notice he just totally bypassed your question?
I felt like I asked Brando a question there, that I just asked a question and he didn't answer anything that I said.
I don't really care about the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's a bad Brando.
It's if Seth, a very bad Brando. Marlon or Tim, yes. But it seemed as if he was a politician there. Okay, it's kind of like, no, I've got my talking points. That question doesn't fit my talking points.
No, it doesn't fit.
Let me go to number 4 here. I just want to spit number 4 out, and then you can try again.
She's busy doing all these like senior projects and senior things and senior social things, and she'll watch the game, but we're not hanging tonight.
All right.
Gotcha.
I will say it was, we've talked about it. I'm rooting hard for the Lightning. I've spent a lot of time in Tampa here for the past few months, and this city's all in. But man, you realize when Montreal has a pulse, what it's like. I mean, the anthem and the open and the people outside. I've never seen more fans wearing their team's jersey in any sport. I thought you go into a Pittsburgh Steelers game, I would never see anything that compared to that. Montreal dwarfs it when the Canadians.
It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. I still say, whenever you're looking for who you want to see win the Stanley Cup, I'd love a Canadian team to win. Just the passion is just so infectious.
Oh, they are.
Whether it's Montreal or even Edmonton or anybody, I've always said, it's been 1993. That's the entirety of my career. I've never seen a Canadian team win a Stanley Cup as a adult. It's crazy.
Well, not only that, it's the entire tenure of Bettman as commissioner.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Seth Everett, Sports with Friends Hall of Justice. Follow him on X at Seth_Everett. Seth, we're going to call it the Syracuse rule.
We have to make the NCAA tournament now.
Well, exactly. 76 teams now. So with all due respect, McNamara there's got 3 years. You can't make a 76 field tourney. But so what do you think? But are there going to be
fans that say they want to only play in the 64, that they don't want to play in this extra weekend? How's that going to work?
Well, it's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday.
You're only in the play-in.
Yeah, it's we were talking about it, Seth. I think it's all of the 16s will have a play-in game now. I think all of the 11s will have a play-in game now, and now it's a question of whether we have 4 10s or a combination of 10s and 15s, a combination of 12 and 15s.
Are all the pools going to start early now?
Well, no, don't you think that we're all either late Wednesday or very early Thursday getting on our laptops and having to quickly,
Yes. I mean,
because there's going to be a lot more games.
Count this extra tournament, this extra round. I don't know.
Maybe it's a
I
mess.
hate the baseball one. I hate the basketball one. I mean, this just sounds like a lot of extra. But hey,
unnecessary is what it is.
Like, what team's going to be like the 72nd pick or the 69th pick and then go to the Sweet 16?
I think that's a possibility. I think winning the tournament is an impossibility.
Well, that's because of the changes in the tournament now. Like, you're not going to have a Seton Hall. You're not going to have a St. Peter's.
I think it's tough to even have a Nova. What were they when they beat Georgetown? Were they a 9 seed, David, or an 8 seed?
They were an 8, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
it doesn't
I
change
think it's
the fact that
difficult for
the
that.
tournament is evolving, not for the good. This added teams, it just means like more teams, like what you were saying, like, yeah, now Syracuse can say, hey, this season we have a goal. We got to be one of 76. Rock on.
By the way, you slipped something in there. You said you don't like it in baseball. So you think there's too many teams in the baseball playoffs?
I hate that extra round. That it was the COVID round that they did it to pacify ESPN. And that round, what you do is the division winners get a whole week off between the end of the regular season and the start of the playoffs. And you're starting a 5-game series. I think the playoff structure blows. I think it's terrible.
Seth, you're a big hockey fan. The Avs are going to have 8 days off potentially before they play Minnesota or
Hockey
Dallas.
And baseball, very different.
Really?
Sure. Pitchers and the hitting, that you lose all your timing. No. The baseball playoffs are terrible now, and the basketball playoffs are worse.
Second. They're terrible now.
They're both created. They were created that extra round because ESPN didn't want to pay the money in the 2020 year.
Seth, we all know why. We all know why we get
out of the tube.
We all know why we get extra playoff teams. We all know that. But you think 12 out of 30, which is going to become 12 out of 32 here by the end of the decade?
Should it become 16 out of 32, Seth? That's based on what you're saying, because we know they don't go backward. So should they increase the amount of teams where it's 8 in each league? Because then you don't have what you just described, the number 1 seed having time off.
Right. Well, the problem with that is if you have all these extra teams and then you have an extra round, then you're playing a 3-game series. So you can win 108 games and you got to win a 3-game series to advance. That just doesn't sound that's not the alternative that wins. I think the baseball playoffs, and then of course you're talking about the World Series being in November and my fantasy World Series, Cleveland versus Colorado in a blizzard.
Okay, so obviously taking television money out of the equation, which we can never do. Would you go back to just 4 or 5?
No, I would keep the 1-game wild card. I loved the 1-game wild card, and I embraced that. I called for that 20 years ago. Before I worked for baseball, when they created the first wild card, I said there needs to be 2 and have a 1-game playoff. You have to give me incentive to not be the wild card. And when they created the second wild card, I thought that was genius. And I loved it. And people said, well, how can you have your whole season come down to 1 game? Win more and avoid it. But this play-in round, too many teams can't do that. I mean, there's too many teams in there. And I think about 2023 when the Diamondbacks and the Texas Rangers went to the World Series. And you had all the favorites. They had 7 days off. And I've had players. This is not just like my cuckoo theory. I had players over the years tell me 1 day off's great. 2 they'll take. Once you get to 3, everything's thrown off. And they hate it. The players hate the extra time off. And you're rewarding your division winners with a week off in the middle of a season. That's insanity to me.
Well, then we should eliminate the All-Star break. I mean, they get 4 days off. I mean, outside of 60 guys, the other 700.
Yeah, but that's everybody, and the stakes are in a 5-game series right out of it.
All right.
I hate it. The The playoffs stink. And that's what's going to happen with this basketball thing is you're going to play forever. You're going to play in this, you're going to be the 75th seed in there.
60
playing
seconds.
Sienna.
So Sports with Friends is Spud. That's it.
Muggsy. No, it's not
Muggsy.
Spud Webb.
I was gonna
Next
say-
week is Spud.
Right. I was going to say Tiny. Okay. They're just.
The best part of Sports with Friends is like 10 minutes into it where I find out that Muggsy and Prince talked basketball. Two really short dudes talked basketball.
Prince could hoop.
I know.
I mean, that's a fact. Prince loved hoop.
I know.
There's
And I
pictures
threw
of
it
him
out
on his
there.
high
You
school
try
team.
on a podcast, you just throw it out there because if he didn't, he had no response, I would have taken it out. You never would have known it. But I asked him and he's like, I met Prince and I talked basketball with him. That's tremendous.
All right. Seth,
Oh, that's
enjoyed it.
We're
Looking
done?
forward to hearing some Muggsy.
Yeah, Muggsy. It should be out by now. I think it is.
So, Sports with Friends, Hall of Justice next week. Seth only works 1 week at a time anymore.
That's right. Only one. That's all I have time for.
I don't blame you. We'd
Yep.
do it too if we could.
Got a
4-day
lot
work
of-
week. We're
A
shooting
lot
for
of
that.
loafing around to do. Oh, go Arsenal today. Champions League semifinal.
Oh, thank goodness. I mean, a big one
Atletico
yesterday.
Madrid.
5-4 game in the other Champions League semifinal.
Yeah, it was a
Lots
big
of
game.
goals.
Yeah. PSG. Yep. Against Bayern Munich.
Whatever.
Uh-huh.
Embrace it,
Hey.
David.
128 teams in the NCAA tournament. Everybody's in.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at
The
AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000 depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you can be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Yeah, Jotharian, he ain't playing around business-wise either, because I know you guys have tried twice, and you've offered him some pretty good money too, but it sure does look and sound like he's following the Juan Soto method. I wonder if you're going to have to do with him what the Nats did with Soto, because they got a haul for him. Now, they didn't take advantage of it, but they got some really good players from the Padres. You know, if I was born on Christmas, I think I would have picked a day and I just would have told everybody, you know, like the 21st or something. We're celebrating my birthday on the 21st. I was supposed to be a Christmas Eve baby. I don't know what the rule is about the contracts, but you know the players are going to want the contracts to progress because they're going to want to be a year closer to free agency.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Jake Chapman, the audio voice. I need to get with the times. It's not just radio. The audio voice of the Orlando Magic. He will join us in a little more than 15 minutes live from Detroit. Orlando trying to put the Pistons away and be just the 5th 8 seed since the NBA has gone to best of 7 to beat a 1 in the first in 3 years since the Heat did it to Milwaukee. Mark, along those lines, and by those lines, I mean the NBA. I don't want to spend a ton of time on this, but so apparently Silver's come up with a way to change the lottery that they think is going to stop people from tanking. Now, they seem to be totally ignoring what you and I believe is the biggest problem in the league, which is the whole load management, and you don't know when anybody's playing anymore. But I guess they're coming up with a system. It's called 3-2-1. And basically, if you miss the playoffs, everybody's going to have like the same number of lottery balls, 3. And I don't know, teams in the play-in, get 2. And I don't know, but it's so this is apparently going to stop the tanking. Basically, there's no advantage apparently if you have the worst record in the league or if you have like the 8th worst record in the league. You have the same number of lottery balls.
Well, I mean, I do think that stops tanking. If there's no reward for finishing last and you don't get 19 ping pong balls versus 18 or however the hell they do it. And this is one of the few years, I mean, to finish in the top 5 in the draft this year, you're going to get a pretty good player. There is something about this draft that is different than, I would say, perhaps the last 10, maybe even further. I mean, sometimes we have 3 guys. A lot of the times it's only 1. There seems to be 5 players. If you're picking 1 through 5, you should get a pretty damn good player in this year's draft. And there's actually arguments over who's 1, 2, and 3. We don't have that very often. So this is an interesting year to get into changing the lottery. But the tanking has never been worse than it was this year. Never. Load management's been there for every bit of a decade. I think it's harder to get load management to go away, David, because the problem with load management is that it's not just the players who are for missing a game or 2. Organizations are very cautious with guys that they're paying nearly $1 million a game for. Now, I mean, the salaries are such in the NBA that what they pay these guys to lose them for long periods of time, rushing them back from an injury or having them play when they have a sore calf. We have an Achilles epidemic going on in that league. And I'm not for load management at all. I'm just merely saying it seems to me that unless we're incentivizing players to play 75 plus games with some sort of monetary reward, and when they're getting paid 60 plus million a year, what else can you give them to get them to play in more games? I don't know. David, with what they're getting paid, you give me an idea of how to ensure guys play more, because I'm all for any idea. I can't think of a reason why players and or organizations would try to get their players to play more now.
Well, I don't know if I can come up with a system off the top of my head to get the players to play 75 plus, but I know I can come up with a system yesterday to prevent what we saw about 6 teams doing during the second half of the season this year. I mean, the blatant tanking, which included load management. Okay. The fines for teams, the taking away of the draft picks, okay, the taking away of cap space. I mean, I would become draconian if I was Adam Silver, all right, about that problem. But Mark, you're right. It's not just the players. It's also the owners and the GMs and the training staff. And it's a system-wide problem. And I don't know if you could change it. It may be too late, in fact, to change the load management problem. But apparently this system, not going to start with this draft, but is going to be in place for the 27, 28, and 29 drafts. It's going to be a 3-year trial. And then I think the CBA is up. So Silver says we're going to do this for 3 years. Then we're going to talk about it, see if it worked. Does it have to be changed? Blah, blah, blah. And we can do that while we're sitting down and, talking about life and the pursuit of happiness.
But you're right that there is some load management involved in tanking. But let's be honest, the teams that were doing load management aren't the teams that I'm rushing to buy a ticket for in September, if you know what I mean. Not other than your son-in-law, no one's saying, holy crap, the Sacramento Kings are coming to Orlando. I've got to get that ticket. But you're absolutely 100% right that there was load management involved in tanking. I mean, and I bring up, what Utah and Sacramento were probably the two worst offenders of it, but they're not teams people are running to see. We're talking about when Steph comes to town once a year and he's not playing and we don't find out until the day of the game. That's the part that stings.
Okay. Does the NBA, I just off the top of my head, kind of you planted this seed. Does the NBA need to come up with something like the PGA Tour came up with 5 years ago about the whole, most popular players? And at the end of the year, they got this big cash pot, and this guy gets 10 million and this guy gets 7 million. And then they go right on down the line. Top 10 guys divvy up the pot. I'm wondering, does the NBA need to create, because Mark, for whatever reason, these players have bought into this stupid NBA Cup. Okay.
Yep, they have.
So what if we come up with something and it's cash based on the number of games you play? Okay. And if you hit, I don't know if it's 70, 72, 75. Okay. And if you're an all-star player or, whatever, and if you hit, say, 72, it's worth.
Okay, I actually
millions.
like this idea, David. I do. I think you're on to something. I think that might work for the player, and I'm not trying to just poke holes in this for the sake of poking holes, because I actually think this is a pretty damn good idea. Now, what are you going to do to incent the teams? Because you've now incented the player, and I like your direction on this. But if I'm the GM of whatever team, and my player comes to me and says, I want to get in these 72 games. And I'm going to say, well, I can't rush you back from this calf injury and take the chance that but I can make money.
Mark,
I don't care.
Mark, here's what the calf injury, I can't get the player to override the training staff and what have you. But Mark, we know there's 6 to 8 games a year that they're just keeping these guys out because I think he needs a rest.
Right.
And
it's
that's
back to back. And
that's where I want to create a system where the player goes to management and says, dude, I play. That's what I'm paid to do. Play. I'm not hurt. I'm playing. Okay. And we all know in many sports, a player has told the team to shove it and they've put the uniform on. I can't overcome the injuries. You're right. And no offense, the player shouldn't play. Okay. In that situation, but I'm tired of the fans in Charlotte got to see him on Tuesday and the fans in Atlanta didn't get to see Wemby on Thursday. Why? We just felt he needed a rest. Screw that. Play.
And it's funny you go Wemby, because this is where I know everybody gets on the players, but at the end of the day, it was that coach in San Antonio that started this whole epidemic. Tim Duncan, DNP, old. I don't know what to tell you. That's where it started, everybody. Miller and Moulton, thanks for listening.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
This is Miller and Moulton.
I remember that, Javier. I do. Well, Dratharian, for whatever reason, their young numbers, be it social media, YouTube, whatever it is that you want to, whatever metric you want to point at, from a fan standpoint, it's the youngest league. And we totally understand our audience's point of view when it comes to the NBA. But, there's part of me that thinks we should try to talk it a little bit longer as we're in some bigger markets that skew a bit younger, because we want to grow our audience. And, Dratharian on Twitch and Tim on the NBA, I haven't watched for 30 years. I used to love it. We get it. We get it more than anybody, but and we're guilty of it too. So I'm not, please don't take this as me picking on you, just using your comments, is that's from a show host standpoint, that's not the attitude I think we should have. Well, it was better when we were young. Okay. Hockey was better. There was things about hockey I liked better 20 years ago. I think the sport's never been faster. I don't think we can deny that the NBA athletes ever been better. I don't know if the game's as good. I'm saying the athlete. And, I don't like the style either. I think there's too many threes. I don't, but that's what the analytics have said. That's why you get games when, the Celtics chucked up 50 threes. That is not as appealing to me as the way the game used to be played. But these TV networks, maybe they're not the smartest people in the world, but I certainly don't think they're stupid. And I don't know, take the NFL, throw it out. What league would you bet on long-term to get a TV audience? Because that's all they care about. The NFL is the behemoth that it is. I actually disagree with you, Red Dog, but I'm not smart enough to do what needs to be done, and I don't have the money to do that needs to be done. I need to be pounding YouTube shorts and pounding TikTok to try to find new people to download podcasts. That's how you get the audience younger. And when I get back home, it's something I'm going to work at, because I think I've got better technology now than I did before. Because they don't listen to radio. I know that. But they do watch TikTok and they do watch YouTube shorts. What's interesting is that Matt Moscone, the New Orleans guy and Baton Rouge guy that we have on our show, was doing a lot of TikTok stuff, and now I'm not seeing it. So I don't know what happened to him. It's exactly, that's where I think it is, Red Dog, but it's a matter of having the time and the knowledge to do it right. it's hard with a 2-man show to be marking down literally when my son sat in for a show, he was clipping parts and putting them out there for us. We need someone doing that every day. I'd love to go to FGCU and find someone that would do it for an internship for a class. It would be amazing.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour to the pro hour, the bonus hour of Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Hope to hook up shortly with Jake Chapman, who is in Detroit, getting ready to call tonight's Magic Pistons game. A series that's closer than the 3-1 Orlando margin. So it could turn. Although, not unless Detroit hits a couple outside shots. Talk to Jake Chapman, hopefully coming up in just a moment. Lively conversation today. A lot going on. A lot of different sports. Manager fired. Hockey playoffs. Basketball playoffs. All right. NCAA tournament expanding.
And football doesn't go away because now we've moved past the draft and, everybody's already looking at its schedule next month and June 1st cuts. So, and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Was interesting that Pittsburgh just, by the way, threw a tag on him yesterday. It was very interesting. It makes you wonder, are somebody getting nervous in the front office? And here's my question. The tag is meant to prevent him from playing for someone else. Could you help me out? Who's the someone else?
Phone.
Arizona? I don't know.
Huh. Okay. Jake Chapman's kind enough to join us now. You can follow Jake on X at Jake Chapman OM. Jake Chapman OM. Jake getting ready to call tonight's Game 5 in Detroit between the Magic and the Pistons. Orlando with a chance. Win their first playoff series in 16 years. Be the 5th 8 seed since they've gone to best of 7 to take down a 1. Jake, it's David and Mark. Thanks for doing this. How are you?
I don't know if we have him on the phone, but I'm certainly not hearing anything, David.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
Nope. Not hearing anything either.
All right.
We're better. We're better.
Okay. Now we've got Jake. Jake, hello. How you doing this morning?
Can you hear me, guys?
Got you perfectly. Thanks for doing this. Appreciate it.
All right. Good morning, fellas. Sorry about that.
Not a problem at all. Hey, what in your estimation has happened here? I've made the comment earlier that these two teams are a little bit mirror images of one another, that they're defense first teams, but Orlando does have more shooters, at least better shooters in Bane than what Detroit has. Is this Orlando just coming together at the right time, or are they, what I've seen in this series, truly the better team right now?
Well, I think it could be a little bit of both. I think, look, the results would suggest that right now the Magic have been the better team. I think even if you look at the regular season, it was a 2-2 split. Neither team really saw each other's best shot. There were injuries, sort of sprinkled throughout most of those contests. And so, yes, I think both teams, kind of look very similar when you stack them up against each other. You got two big physical teams. You got a bunch of options defensively. Because you got a bunch of size, so you can switch screens, you can throw, Jamal Moses has got a lot of options when it comes to Cade Cunningham. You can start with Franz Wagner, but then you can switch screens and feel comfortable with Wendell, Carter Jr. switching out onto him. There is, Cade Cunningham's a great player, and the first 2 games of the series, I think you saw for sure, he was dominant. And bottom line is he's averaging 8 turnovers a game over the last 3. And the reason is because the Magic have been able to throw waves of defenders at him. Now, on the flip side, which is what I think you're getting at, is that, boy, there aren't very many options for Detroit beyond Cade Cunningham. And so if the Magic do a good job with him, where does that secondary playmaking come from? In the regular season, it was Dennis Jenkins coming off the bench. He was a great story, an undrafted guy 2 years ago who filled in very well when Cunningham went down with that collapsed lung. But he looks like he's experiencing his first playoffs, and that's about it. And then when you think about Jamal Mosley, you've got Paolo, you've got Franz, you've got Desmond Bane, you've got Anthony Black coming off the bench who can play, make, and create. And so there's just a lot more options right now for Jamal Mosley on the offensive end, and I think you're seeing that play out a little bit. And then beyond all that, it really is. It's been two very, very physical teams, and the Magic have done a little bit better a job rebounding, protecting the paint, et cetera, et cetera.
Is Bane the difference? That if you took Bane off the Magic, they'd be the Pistons? Okay, that Paolo and Cade, in theory, could, equal each other out. Yeah, I know Orlando's got, Wagner, but this trade for Bane, it was done to win playoff series. Is he right now the difference in this series?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could make that argument pretty reasonably, especially looking at the last two games and the way he played. Game one, the Pistons did a really good job of slowing him down and taking away the three ball for him. But the bottom line is when you have to pay that much attention to him and take away the three ball, and he was, 1 of 8, I think, from 3-point range in that game. Other guys, chances are going to have some good opportunities there. And so that was a really good Paolo game. He had 23 in that game, and he had really good balance elsewhere. That was the game where Franz came in, scored 11 points in the fourth quarter. I think when you bring Desmond Bane in, it's for multiple reasons. It's A, because he fit your culture already. We were already building a defensive first, physical sort of culture, and he fit in perfectly in that regard. You bring him in to ease things on Franz and Paolo and space the floor and give you another playmaker and creator. And obviously the 3-point shot is something that, yes, was not there last year, and it has made a big difference, especially in the last two games. And so I think, he is the difference maker. He can do a lot of things as a secondary playmaker and shooter. He fits in defensively. When I look at Detroit, I go, okay, you got guys to play roles, but play one very specific defined role. Duncan Robinson is not going to be confused on the defensive end with Desmond Bane, for instance. And when you look down the bench, guys like Karis LeVert, you've got some guys who can do some things, but I don't think you have the two-way approach that some of the Magic secondary playmakers and bench guys can bring to the floor. So Desmond Bane has absolutely fit like a glove. I think when you go into an atmosphere like you're going to be in tonight, it's great to have a guy like Desmond Bane who not only does it not faze him, sometimes I think it charges him up a little bit. He kind of likes playing the villain. But you're right. I mean, you made that move because first-round flameouts weren't enough. And so hopefully, the proof is in the pudding here tonight, and they're able to get past it. This is going to be a really tough one. I mean, I have no illusions about how difficult this game is going to be tonight, but I think having a guy like Desmond Bane for sure makes you feel a little bit more comfortable.
Well, I thought the point you made right off the hop is the obvious one to me. Cade Cunningham had less than 4 turnovers a game in the regular season. He's had 8 a game in his last 3. So that's got to change for Detroit. But the other thing for tonight, you mentioned Wagner had 11 points in the fourth quarter in one of the games. Well, I don't know if you can break any news to us right now, but what's his status for tonight? And even if he plays, is he going to be, Franz Wagner in the fourth quarter, if you know what I mean, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's hard to tell. No breaking news just yet. He's questionable. They'll see how he feels. I have no idea what to think with that. It's a calf. The calf strains. You can see all of the different sort of every internet doctor has an idea of how long he's going to be held out. I do know when you get to this point of the season, a nagging injury can turn into a bigger injury if you're not very careful. So I would expect to exercise a little caution there. It's going to be interesting. Look, once again, now you're talking about the Magic's depth. Jamal Cain, for instance, has come out of absolutely nowhere and helped this team out and does a lot of the things you would want kind of a spot starter to do, which is doesn't need the ball in his hands, doesn't need to take a whole bunch of shots. He's going to defend. He's going to work. He had maybe the dunk of the year the other night, and they asked him about it after the game, and he said, my whole mentality was slowing down Cade Cunningham. Like, that was his approach in that game. And so I think, you feel comfortable with some of your bench depth if you've got to go a couple games without Franz Wagner. Obviously, massive loss defensively. He's done such a great job on that end, especially with Cade Cunningham. But you do feel like at the very least you have some reinforcements in place. I think maybe Jamal Cain would be the guy who gets the first crack and the heavier minutes. But then you're going to need Anthony Black. You're going to need to look down the bench. Maybe Javon Carter gets a spot here in the bench rotation as that backup point guard. You're going to need the guys to chip in. And it's not going to be one guy who can fill in for Franz Wagner. It's going to have to be everybody chipping in a little bit.
Jake Chapman, the audio voice of the Orlando Magic. Follow him on X at Jake Chapman OM. Jake Chapman OM. All right. We talked 2 weeks ago today. You were getting ready in Philly for the play-in to start. Obviously, the Magic didn't have a good night. Did you see something that changed? Did something change at home against Charlotte? Or is it just, hey, man, it's the playoffs, and whatever issues teams have, they go away in the playoffs because the guys just want to win. But 2 weeks ago, we didn't quite know what we were getting. And now we're like, well, damn, this is the team we thought we were getting 7 months ago.
Yeah, I don't. It just can't be as simple as just, well, we're trying now because it's the playoffs. Because there is an element of that, to be sure. Like when, all of a sudden your season was on the line that Friday night against Charlotte, and you played like world beaters. When we spoke 2 weeks ago, I had no idea what to expect in that Philly game. I certainly had no idea what to expect in that Charlotte game. It's been a winding season, to put it lightly. With that said, I think that what happened in the Philly game was you played hard, you just missed shots. And so at the very least, it felt like the effort was there, which I don't think you could say that about Game 82 in Boston. Then I think you sort of bottled that up a little bit. Yeah, I think with your back against the wall against Charlotte, it was like, all right, here goes nothing. Like, let's just leave it all out there. But I do think that the way that you ragdoll the Charlotte Hornets and just beat them up. And yes, it was playoff basketball and they weren't ready for it. And we were. I think that just sort of renewed the confidence a little bit. And at the very least, they said, you know what? We're in. It's a new season. None of the crap that happened in the previous 83 games matters right now. Let's just go play Detroit and see what happens. And when you win game one in that atmosphere against the 1 seed, boy, that puts some wind in your sails. So, all of the things we talked about previously about the matchups, about the X's and O's, the basketball, the personnel is all still very valid. But, something happened in that Charlotte game to this team's spirit. And I don't think it can be, understated how impactful getting that one game with the spotlight on, with everybody writing you off for the past 48 hours, go back even a couple of days to that Boston game. It'd have been about a week of everybody telling them how bad they were. And somewhat rightfully so. So I think their pride was hurt, and I think they were up against the wall, and they came out swinging, and they've been kind of riding that wave for about a week and a half now.
I was upset with the way Paolo shot in that game against Philly, that he kept chucking threes when he wasn't making them. It seems he's been a little more disciplined. And in game 4, when he didn't have a good shooting game, he wasn't good from the floor at all. He did what he does best. He goes to the hole and he got to the line a bunch. I thought that showed maturity. Am I off at that assessment of what he's done in this series?
No, for sure. And look, I think it shows maturity. I think it shows trust in his teammates. And I think it's a lot easier for him to do that when his teammates are paying it off. But part of the problem last year, and this is why you go get Desmond Bane, right? Part of the problem last year is Paulo kept on drawing 2 defenders, kicking out, and wide open threes were clanking off the back of the rim. Now all of a sudden, it's when you see an offense kind of working holistically and guys are sharing the basketball because they trust each other, and that a contested long 2 versus a wide open 3, the wide open 3 is a better shot, which was not the case last year necessarily. I think that feeds into it. He's still so young. He's still so damn good. He's drawing so much attention. He's so physical. He's still figuring all of this out as we go. I realize it's young players are doing that across the league, and we have high expectations for him, to be sure. But it's funny kind of watching him figuring it out as he goes, because physically, most of the time he could just put his head down and get to the basket. But That is when you allow a team to sort of spotlight you offensively, it makes it more difficult in crunch time and in the postseason and as games tighten up. And so I think no matter what, he knows he's going to need his teammates, and he's just figuring out the best way for him to become kind of the hub offensively. And I do think in a series like this, I mean, look, we can talk about the offensive shooting numbers. They're atrocious. I mean, this is an absolute rock fight, brick fest of a series. But when you've got a guy like Paolo, that's kind of an easy button. Hey, get him the basketball. And if worse comes to worse, there's probably going to be some contact there, and he's probably going to get to the free throw line, and that's a good thing for your team.
Well, I know you're heading home no matter what, whether it's for Game 6 on Friday or whether it's to just sit back and watch Cleveland and Toronto play a Game 6, because that's who you'll be playing next if you can win. Jake, have a great call tonight. Safe travels, and hope we can talk down the road.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Jake Chapman, the audio voice of the Orlando Magic. Follow him on X at Jake Chapman OM. Jake Chapman OM.
Pistons are 9.5-point favorites. Boy, that seems like a lot of points for Detroit in this series. They are struggling to score, and he pointed it out. Both teams shooting poorly, but the free throws ended up being 6 apart in that game. Orlando had a huge edge until late in Game 4. I think that will flip tonight.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
The Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
If you're a business who targets men, please know there is no better and more economical way to reach your target audience than us at Miller & Moulton. So let us help you make money. You can reach out to Mark at that Mark Miller or me at the David Moulton on X, or text us at 21,000. We have a proven product, a good reputation, and lots of quality segments that we can attach your company's name to. Miller & Moulton, we're like that old pizza box. You've had the rest, now try the best. Miller & Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
This is Miller & Moulton.
For those that are wondering, Trent will be at the game tonight in Detroit. So he likes the Pistons to win, the Magic to cover. We'll see. I would like to think that Herder and a few other guys hit some shots tonight at home for Detroit.
It's going well. My wife says I don't snore anymore. It's all I can go by. In fact, I've got to turn my device today again. You crank it a 1/4 millimeter, I think a 1/4 or a 1/2 millimeter every 2 weeks, something like that. And basically you're widening your bite is what at the end of the day. So it's for your tongue fits. And, you know, like I said before, the CPAP works for David great. It did not work for me. It never would seal properly.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Pro Hour, the bonus hour. Miller and Moulton coming at you live in Jacksonville and Tampa, St. Pete. And I know online and Twitch and YouTube, places elsewhere. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. A lot of lively conversation today. Lots of stuff to kick around on this hump day.
Well, one of those things is the new favorite thing in sports. Maybe not. It is for me. And that's the ABS system. I love everything about the pitch challenge. Every single thing. And I'm actually loving it so much that I may be recanting my position on essentially robot umpires. Because the challenge system, one, it's working. Two, it's adding a fun element to the game. I think the fans are getting into the challenge part of it. And fan interaction in the game may be a better alternative than 100% ABS calling balls and strikes. Not eliminating the umpire, being able to challenge the umpire. Because, David, what is the one thing our audience, and I'm not knocking, I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way. One of the things our audience loves to do is tell us when we're wrong. David, we could be right for 10 straight segments, not miss a fact. Our opinions could agree with every damn thing that they think. The moment we get a stat wrong, 47 text, 87 people in the Twitch chat room and YouTube chat room point out the mistake we made. People live for it. I'm not knocking our audience. I'm just pointing out facts. We love to tell, and it's our show, our name's on the show. So in essence, we're the authority figures on this particular show for these 4 hours. No other time in our lives, not in our home life, not anywhere else are we an authority figure. Trust us. Ask our wives. But here we are. So when we're wrong, they jump our crap, and that's okay. That's okay. And ABS is kind of the same way. When particularly, it's not good when the home team loses, but when the home team wins, the fans love it. And maybe never more than last night in Cincinnati. Because, David, it was the first ever ABS strikeout in which the fans all won. They have
How's
a
that?
promotion in Cincinnati that if the Reds strike out 11 batters, you get a free pizza from a place called La Rosa's. Last night, on a 1-2 pitch that was called a ball, ABS said, no, that's a strike. Free pizza for everybody. And come on, nothing is better than something free at a game. Whether it's a t-shirt, whether it's a small fry, it doesn't matter. Whatever that promotion is. I mean, David, we've seen it in hoop forever. Whatever that magic number,
Right.
maybe it's 100 in a college game or whatever it is in a pro game. The game could be long gone. But if the team hits that number, the crowd loves it.
Yep. Well, that's fun. And I will say people are enjoying it. My hope is that Major League Baseball doesn't freak out. Yes, it is adding time to the games. But, Mark, I think you hit upon it early in your stance here. It's entertaining. So, yes, the games are apparently 4 minutes longer at this point this year than last. They attribute that to ABS. Let's face it. Okay, there's a lot of successful challenges. Teams are not losing their 2 challenges by the 3rd inning in a lot of cases. They're keeping them through the mid innings. And so therefore guys keep challenging. But you're right, Mark. The fans love it. It adds to the in-stadium environment. And I got to be honest, I think it adds to sitting home on your couch viewing.
David, my mom and I went out to dinner last night. Place I've been to a lot since I've been in the Tampa area. Did not know, I had not been there on a Tuesday night. Did not know Tuesday night was trivia night.
Oh.
The trivia host thought she was Miss DJ. I was imitating her to my mother. I had my mother in tears because everything was like this all night long. She was the female version of Brockmire, and holy crap, was it annoying. But at one point, my mom looked at me. She said, "Are you watching hockey?" I said, "No, baseball," because the Rays game was on. The Rays Rays Guardians game was on behind her. Now, no sound, no closed captioning, but I'm watching the game, and all of a sudden I saw a tap, and I'm like, "Ooh, did he get it?" And sure as hell, he got it. And it was a strike call for the Rays. But last night, I give credit to the Rays play-by-play. Is it John Sadak? Is the Reds play-by-play, and Tyler Stevenson, the Reds catcher, was the one that tapped his helmet, and his line was, "Stevenson has won one tonight. Can he win a pizza for those in the stands?" I mean, being aware of what's going on is part of your job as a play-by-play announcer. You're painting a picture, describing the scene, and he was able to do so. But I'm with, we talked about tennis, and I'm not going to get into tennis players or whatever because I don't care anymore. But when there's a challenge in tennis, the crowd, it doesn't matter who the crowd's rooting for. Right. They could all be rooting for one guy versus the other guy. They could hate the other guy. When the challenge comes, what do all the tennis fans do? They start clapping in unison until there's a call. They all watch it on the screen. It happens. There's a pop out of the crowd. And baseball has been able to get that immediately with the challenge system. It, to me, is working far better than I thought it would.
Well, here's the other thing, and I don't know. Have you seen a call challenge this year in which ABS said it was whatever? a ball or a strike, and you sat there and went, that wasn't right. Okay, because that's the one thing we talked about when we brought up tennis years ago and this possible system and moving it over to other sports was that the tennis player, and they are pounding the out of that ball. Serves, on the women's tour are 100 miles an hour. On the men's tour, they're up to 140. Okay, the game's never been more powerful in terms of ground strokes. But what if those players, Mark, from day one, done, they accepted those line calls as gospel? If that computer and up on the screen and it said it was a millimeter out, they went, okay, and moved on. And I got to admit, I don't know if I've disagreed with a call yet from technology.
Correct. There's been one disagreement. It had nothing to do with the call. It had to do with the length of time it took the pitcher to ask for the call, and the manager was ticked off that it didn't happen in what he thought was a timely fashion. But no, you're right, David. You've probably watched a lot more baseball because this is a YouTube TV thing for me. I'm not getting as much baseball. But when I've watched, I've not seen them miss one.
But I think everyone's accepting of it. First, I have to admit, wouldn't you love to sit in the umpire's room after a game? I would love to know if they're agreeing with every time they're being told they're wrong. Because remember, it's a computer system. They set it up. Now, the width of the plate, in theory, you can't argue with, but you could get pretty honked off about, so what did you guys say his strike zone is up and down? Because, that was all set. They measured everybody. They put it all into a computer. Hit the button. There you go. That's Altuve's strike zone. Boom. But everyone's accepted it. Pitchers, catchers. I haven't seen anybody throw a fit. Okay, well, I got to admit, Jazz Chisholm doesn't agree with much. Okay, but outside of Jazz Chisholm, and he disagreed with a ball that was right down the middle of the plate and 6 inches above the knee. It was hysterical. But otherwise, Mark, everybody's going, okay, next. And that's important.
Yes, it is. No, it's not just important, Dave. It's the most important thing of it. If the players aren't accepting, then the fan part doesn't really matter. But the fans have enjoyed it. The players are accepting. I think it's working far better than I thought it would. And like I said, I'm someone who just wanted computer umpires, if you will, robot umpires. I'm cool with this system. I like the way it's working for the entertainment value of the sport. After all, we've only been saying it for damn near 20 years. It's a TV show.
Now, you're right. I'm sure I'm watching more baseball than you. Have you gotten to a point in a game in which you're feeling badly for the home plate umpire?
No.
Okay, I have. I'm like, oh my goodness. It's like 6 challenges in a row. He's been wrong. I mean, there's a part of me that's like, oh, come on, man. Let him be right. Let him be right once. Because, also, once when you're getting all your challenges right, what do you keep doing? Challenging. Right.
And David, the reason I don't, and I guess, look, I never played baseball at a high level. But for the last 2 years I played the sport, I played catcher. I loved it. And umpires are the authority, even though that pitch you knew was a strike.
Right.
And the umpire called it a ball. And you knew that it wasn't. So from that standpoint, no. I'm good with this because the catcher can only say so much before he gets in trouble too.
Yep.
He can say a little bit as long as he looks forward. You can't ever look back at the umpire. You can muddle something under your breath and you get more leeway than probably any other player because there is a relationship between catcher and umpire. There is. But no, I'm fine. I'm fine with it.
I think I led our league in how many times the home plate umpires had to come across and clean the plate because, you're telling the umpire he's wrong while looking out at the pitcher's mound. And imagine me as a teenager, how, clever I was in telling them they were wrong. So they in turn then have to come out and clean home plate so that they could look me in the eye and tell me to shut the Right.
Were you telling the umpire, or were you like I was just telling your pitcher, throw it right there again, no problem, that was a strike, good pitch, keep doing that?
Start with good pitch and then go, Blue, you missed that. I mean, you totally missed that. And that's 3. That's the other thing I would keep track. Okay, Blue, that's 5. You love hearing that from a 15-year-old.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online and at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound. American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Well, Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
This is Miller and Moulton.
I was killing it in trivia last night. I wasn't playing trivia. I wasn't one of the people turning in anything. But I did far better than I thought I was going to. I did miss the music question that pissed me off. I will throw it out there for you Beatles fans. Which Beatle didn't wear shoes on the cover of Abbey Road?
Paul.
I would have guessed.
Did
John.
you know that off the bat there, Rick?
I did.
Good for you. I guessed John. I guessed John, and I was wrong.
It was part of the legacy of the Paul is dead thing that he was walking across the street and didn't have shoes on.
Gotcha. And I didn't know that one. I was really pissed at myself for not knowing that one. But I did help. I did cheat for the table next to us who was playing. Because they played Eye of the Tiger and asked, they had a music thing, a question, and it was what Rocky movie was that in? And I could see these 4 young people struggling. And I mean, come on, that's an iconic movie. So I just put 3 fingers up and looked at him. Because I looked over at him, the kid looked up, and I just went, I'm like, and he looked at me, I go, I bet everything I own on that. You have to trust me. Wow, even Trent texted me with Paul there. Well done, Trent.
They were basically just looking for somebody who was old enough to have seen the movies.
Well, I don't know how many people were playing. She was loud. Holy crap, was she loud. But there were definitely tables that were playing. Like when we got there, the place was packed by the time we left. And we left, I mean, I'm there pretty early. It wasn't packed. So not everybody in there was playing, but they had groups of people playing. But I laughed because they also asked, because it was all trivia, business, sport, all over the place, entertainment. And one of the sports question was, who was the player that's the logo in the NBA logo? And I could tell the 4 people next to me who the oldest one was, probably 26, 28, 2 guys, 2 girls. And look if you're that age and you're not an NBA fan, you wouldn't have a clue who that is. I'd rather go to the baseball game in either city, Sonny, or the NBA game. The idea of watching training camp does nothing for me. I mean, watching a guy in shorts and a t-shirt or short, I mean, they can't hit him. These guys can all throw. So the camp thing does nothing for me. If you were to ask me of any sport I'd want to watch a camp, it's actually hockey, because there's a chance they'll fight. And if football, I'd much rather watch linemen go at it than quarterbacks for that same reason. They're fighting for jobs. I mean, we've watched enough Hard Knocks to watch how hard quarterbacks have to work at camp. When do they ever focus on quarterbacks there, Sonny? They focus on some third receiver who's going to make the team or might not make the team. And I haven't watched Hard Knocks in a long time. It's another show that's not really jumped the shark. There's just no more stories to tell. I mean, I know a lot of you like Full Swing. After I watched a couple seasons of that, it's just kind of the same thing. But Trent, since I know you're listening, since you texted me the answer there of Paul, I thought of you immediately when the Rocky III question. I'm like, that's a young guy that would have been able to answer that question. Wearing the shorts that I got you. All caps from Trent, iconic.
See, that's 3 though.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap today was the day one. Some final thoughts, a pick or two coming up in a little more than 15 minutes time. I learned something during the break. Maybe you all knew this who have listened to the show over the years. So our former producer, Trent, and Mark Miller, they are in agreement that the Rocky series is iconic, but they started with Rocky IV. So I thought everything before Rocky IV, I mean, Rocky 1, obviously, 2, good, solid. Okay. 3, good, solid. But you guys had not defined 3 as iconic. You started with Rocky IV was iconic.
Well, they're both iconic. I mean, come on. This is the Rocky series. Hell, I'll watch 5 if I have to, David.
Wow.
But I mean, 3, you may have had the best pure boxer in any of the Rockies in Clubber Lang. Pound for pound, as tough as they come, David. Maybe a bigger upset. Rocky over Creed, Rocky over the Russian there. I mean, come on. Creed killed him in the first fight. Literally killed his manager, beat the crap out of him, and she's in a coma. I mean, think of what he did to that whole dynamic.
No, I understand. A lot going on, right? So anyway, I just learned some more about the Rocky series and just where it ranks. Could you play along with me at home? There was something else we were talking about during the break. It's another reason why, twitch.tv/Miller and Moulton, the YouTube Miller and Moulton channel, you can see us, talk to us during the breaks, etc. Sometimes it's pretty entertaining. So you mentioned Hard Knocks during the break. And for a split second, I went, ooh, wait a minute. Who's Hard Knocks this year? And then I remembered, oh, yeah, that's right. The 2 teams in the Super Bowl, Seattle's this year, the Patriots are next year. And I thought to myself, ooh, good thing for the Patriots. That first episode would have been awkward. And it got me thinking, is Vrabel going to be okay during all this? I mean,
Is Vrabel going to be the coach?
Right. And that's what I mean. I mean, he's walking through the airport yesterday. Somebody's following him with a camera and they're heckling him, and he was annoyed. He didn't go after him or anything, but I'm thinking to myself, okay, how much life does this have? I mean, I have no interest in the story. Okay, I don't really care about their personal lives unless it affects the team. The team doesn't give a damn. Okay, they don't. They've already said it. Okay, we're 4.5 months away from playing games that count in the standings. I think this is laughable. To me, Belichick would have ended this in an hour. Honestly, this would have lasted an hour. Remember the Tim Tebow circus? Oh my goodness, I can't believe Tim Tebow signed with the Patriots. Belichick's going to hate it. It lasted a morning session of training camp. That was it. I mean, I don't know why they can't just shut this down. What's the problem?
David, I'm not doing this to play the other guy here. If Belichick would have been married and would have been caught having an affair with an NFL insider, he can't just shut that down. He can not allow questions in his press conferences. He can, I guess, throw people out if they ask him, but the story wouldn't go away. We love sensationalism. We love this.
I understand.
As a country. I don't mean you and I, but you know what I'm saying.
I understand. But Mark, if let's just say I'm the coach and I'm the one who screwed up, and doing your job, you could ask me questions from now to right on through training camp. Mark, if every single time you ask something, I go, come on, I addressed that back in April. Okay, my personal life has nothing to do with this team. I'm not going to talk about it further. All right. And then you move and you throw, Charlie, what's your question? Honestly, I'd say it every time. 10 seconds. That's it. Let's move on. What are you going to do? How does this story have legs? How does it have oxygen? Okay, he cheated on his wife. He cheated on his wife with an NFL reporter. By the way, she lost her career over it. What's going to happen to him? Nothing. A little embarrassment. That's what's happened to Mike Vrabel. Embarrassment. That's it.
Now, I don't think Bill would have missed day 3 in the draft to go spend time with his family. I think everything Vrabel's done here has helped exacerbate the story.
Boy, nobody takes our advice, do they? From Tiger, right? In the last 20 years, nobody takes our advice.
I mean, now there are literally stories out there, and they're stories. They're not, I don't think there's anything behind them. Is he going to retire? Is he going to be forced to resign? I mean, they are doing everything they can. Not only, I'm not paying attention to what's going on in the Boston market. I think they're probably a little more concerned with the Red Sox and the Celtics right now because it's a 4-sport town. Their teams are everyone but the Patriots is playing right now. One team, we don't know for how much longer, but the Bees got another win, so they're even talking about them a little bit. But, David, when the Bruins, if they get knocked out here soon, and the Celtics, unless they win the whole thing, well, the Red Sox better start winning because the sports talk show host in that town, they're going to keep talking about this.
Okay. Listen, I don't want to get into, lazy sports talk and what have you. Obviously, if you're working in Boston, you're a lot more successful than I am. But my goodness, I mean, the guy cheated on his wife. Okay, it's embarrassing. Yeah. Okay, maybe he's not the person you thought he was. Maybe you look at him differently. I mean, seriously, this is do we want to go through the quote scandals that the Patriots have been involved in the last 20 years? Mike Vrabel was sleeping with an NFL reporter. Seriously? I mean, between Kraft, okay, Spygate, the whole, Deflategate. Seriously? Vrabel, Rossini? I mean, this is laughable.
Now, tomorrow on WDI, we'll rank sports controversies in Boston. Where does the Vrabel Rossini story lie? Your calls tomorrow at 2. Sorry, I'll do lazy sports talk for a week in July. Okay, I'm in.
Listen, I'm thinking to the point if they keep talking about this, maybe they're going to resuscitate Rossini's career. Okay, if they just keep this in the news long enough. I don't know. I'm just shaking my head going, why is this still a thing? You know what I'm waiting for though? Is a lot of media people have hinted that there's a lot of nefarious stuff going on between NFL coaches, GMs, front offices, and NFL reporters. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for that shoe to drop. Ooh, you guys going to show us and tell us how the hot dogs are made? How the sausage is made? Really?
Which coaches aren't cheating on their wives? Coming up at 2. I mean,
by the way, if this was a PGA Tour thing, now that's a different story. That would go on all year. I mean, my goodness.
Patriots off to an 0-2 start. Does Mike Vrabel need to start cheating on his wife again?
Patriots are 1-3. Should Vrabel leave his wife for Rossini? Join us middays, Miller and Moulton.
There you go. See, now you're catching on. Now there you go. Now you figured it out.
Sorry, my bad.
Oh, that took you a while. I had to beat you down a little bit, but you joined in. By the end of the show, you'll say Rocky IV was iconic.
I was going to say it took you about 6-7 minutes there. That's not bad.
I mean, yesterday I got you to ban college kids from betting on college sports. I mean, today I got you talking about cheating wives.
No, you didn't. You only got me to get them to ban betting on college sports at their school. There's no reason why a kid at Connecticut can't bet on the USC-UCLA game. That's ridiculous.
I'll keep working on them, everybody.
By the way, my mother in total agreement with you. Oh, my goodness. Picked her up yesterday, chastised me all the way down the road. I finally had to go and pull over somewhere so we could change the subject.
Well, the good news with Mom is I know she likes to drive through almost as much as you do. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Today was the day when and what's on tap. That's next.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000 depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Mark, you were right. It was a Wendy's. You were right. We pulled into a Wendy's.
I had fast food yesterday. Chick-fil-A. Come on, it's the only one I'll go to.
Well, I was going through the mental Rolodex here, and I'm thinking,
that's it.
Did he run into did a Five Guys have a?
No, they don't have a drive-through. I will say I'll do a Culver's for a concrete mixer. I won't eat food there, but I do get ice cream there. Ben & Jerry's BOGO this week at Publix, everybody. Couple new flavors out, too. Pretty exciting stuff. Next week, I will go home for the weekend for my daughter's birthday this weekend. I have to come back on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week for appointments, and Wednesday after my last appointment, I'm good. There's a There's a caramel peanut butter thing on the new flavor, Deadstroke. It's a peanut butter blonde, it's called. I liked it. Not as much as the vanilla caramel fudge. That's my new go-to. There were a couple others. There were like 3 there last night, and I didn't get any of them. I went with the BOGO. I went with the Gibby S'mores and the vanilla fudge caramel, or vanilla caramel fudge, whatever it is. It's wonderful. That's been my go-to lately, because the graters that was sent to me is gone. Of the 6 pints, I gave 1 to my daughter, 1 to my wife. The rest were for me.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, it's one of the only times you'll get to pull rank. Might as well do it.
Told my daughter, if the Madagascar vanilla that I gave her isn't gone by the time I come home, all bets are off. I said, it's your birthday weekend, so I'll probably give you till Saturday.
But Sunday morning,
There's a chance.
I
I had 2 pints of ice cream last night. I was so full from dinner, I didn't eat either of them. Having one for lunch today. I'm probably gonna start giving ice cream up when I get back. I gotta lose about 15 pounds. I gotta quit this. I've been going nuts here. I've been very happy about everything that's come out. So my diet's kind of gone to you know what. But I gotta start quitting the sugars. Gotta get healthy again. That's funny you say that, Paula. My first wife, when she was pregnant with our son, we lived very close to a Dairy Queen, and she knew it was my soft spot, and I gained a bunch of weight during that pregnancy, but she would look at me and go, I think I need calcium. And that meant get your ass to DQ for a couple of blizzards. One of the fond memories I have of that woman. There are not many. Besides, Paula, you're a grandma. You got grandkids. You have them enough. You can always make that ice cream excuse. My grandfather did with me when I was a kid. Loved it. Yeah, well, crazy. I mean, it does make me wonder where it is that we lived, because they say a lot of leukemia can be environmental. I've got to remember when I play golf. It sounds silly, but I'm one of those guys that would always clean my golf ball by licking my golf ball. I will never do that. I got to really break myself of that. I did get permission yesterday, though, to have my own cart for the next 90 days, because I've been given clearance to golf when I get out of here. So I emailed the club and asked for permission to have my own cart. The toffee chip was amazing, Dratharian. The Bearcat thing, it was a cream cheese ice cream with their chocolate chips are just flat out amazing. The Grater's chocolate chips are the best chocolate chips that have ever been in an ice cream, ever, bar none, nothing close.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till we're done. We're out of here. That's it. Hump Day edition. We got you over the hump. You take it from here, or at least till tomorrow morning. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X.
And to go. All right, I'm ready for you.
It's that time again, nearing the end, but not quite there yet. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
1852. The Roget Thesaurus is published for the first time and has never been out of print since. I'm guessing if you're under the age of about 35, you never used a thesaurus. You just used some sort of Google.
Yeah, that in an encyclopedia, right?
Right.
Right around the same time.
Yeah. I wanted to look this up and I didn't, so it's on me. But today in 1918, Tris Speaker set a record with 4 unassisted double plays from the outfield. I mean, he was Kelly Leak before Kelly Leak, if you know what I mean.
Yes, he was.
Today in 45, Desmond Dawes saves 75 wounded soldiers in the Battle of Okinawa at Hacksaw Ridge. They would make a movie about it later. Today in 61, for the first time, we had the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Wide World of Sports debuted today in 1961. Probably saw more different sports because of that show than anything else.
An amazing trend-setting TV program.
And they bought the rights to everything. I mean, they were the first big rights holder, if you will, because they were buying the rights to, weightlifting in Belarus and ski jumping here and whatever the case may be. Year round, we saw, bullfighting. We saw everything on Wide World Sports.
Come on, tell me you didn't stop and watch the cliff diving in Acapulco.
Loved it.
I just, before they left, I'm like, you're standing on the edge of a rock in which I'm pretty sure my foot is fatter than how much room you have for both of your feet. And you're going to jump off this and you're going to complete a dive. Huh.
And you're going to time it for when the tide comes in.
Yes.
So you don't go to that. I mean, look, and I'm petrified of heights, so I couldn't even do the jump. But remember, you have to time the jump right so the water's deep enough so you don't wait for it, die.
Come to think of it, Mark, I do think we're giving too much credit for when they stand on the 12th tee and they wait for the exact moment for the wind. I mean, the worst thing that can happen is you put it in Rays Creek. You make a dadgum good point. You time that sucker wrong in Acapulco. That was death at 5 p.m. on ABC.
Today in 67, Aretha releases the Otis Redding song Respect. Didn't do anything for her at all.
No,
Song of the year in 67, by the way.
Didn't help her.
Nixon announces today in 74 that he will release the transcripts of the 46 taped White House conversations in response to the Watergate trial.
And the House Judiciary Committee said, yeah, that's cute. The whole 1,200 pages. We want the actual tapes. Not that we don't trust you or anything, but we want the tapes.
Right. The hell was he doing recording himself for? Today in 75, we began to evacuate from Saigon, ending our involvement in the Vietnam War. The song that was played over American radio services to let the troops know it was time to get the hell out of Dodge, White Christmas by Bing Crosby. Right. Today, the Lions celebrated. They sucked in 79, but they thought all was well today in 80 when they drafted the Oklahoma running back, Billy Sims, the first number 20 in Detroit.
Exactly.
Bo Jackson, selected first overall in 86 by
Tampa
Bay Buccaneers. Dan Quisenberry retired as the AL Save King today in 1990.
I believe Pat Kerwin turned in the card.
He did. We've talked about it. Yep. Today in 92, the jury acquits the LAPD department officers on the beating of Rodney King, sparking the riots in the city and elsewhere. Oldsmobile builds its final car, ending 107 years in production today in 04. One of the most controversial first ever picks was today in 06 when the Houston Texans selected Mario Williams instead of Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
People freaked out. Big day for David today in 2011.
Here we go.
Prince William marries his longtime girlfriend, Kate Middleton, and the rest of us were basically floored by Pippa's ass.
15 years ago. Happy anniversary, you lovebirds. Although he's got to lighten up a little bit. I mean, you're going to become king of England. And if you're in good health, you're going to have that gig a long time. Lighten up and enjoy it, for goodness sakes.
And in 2018, The Simpsons surpassed the 635 episode count of, do you know the show that they passed to become the highest number of episodes of any series?
Bonanza?
Good guess. Gunsmoke. You were in the right genre. Wrong show. Duke Ellington, George Allen, Bernie Madoff, and Dale Earnhardt would have all celebrated birthdays today. Long list of birthdays. Willie Nelson, 93. Johnny Miller, 79. Jerry Seinfeld, 72. Michelle Pfeiffer and Mets announcer Gary Cohn, 68. Hockey coach Mike Babcock, 63. Cujo, Curtis Joseph, the goaltender's 59. Andre Agassi is 56. So is Uma Thurman. Jonathan Taves, 38. And Justin Thomas, 33. David, will Justin Thomas win another major?
Ooh.
If we were a golf show only, that would have been my poll question on Justin Thomas's birthday.
Well, there's a whole bunch of them. JT, Spieth. Okay. Are they going to win one more?
See, I don't think Spieth will.
I say yes on JT.
I much better shot. I give JT much better odds than I would give Spieth.
Because Mark, when he gets going, he is the streakiest great player on tour. I mean, nobody can shoot a 61 out of nowhere like JT. He can go low out of nowhere.
What did I miss?
Nothing.
Yeah, I so long as I had the royal wedding on there, I knew David would be
you took mine. You knew it.
He had something. I had Watergate. I had the Watergate tapes, and I had Pippa and Kate and Bill there.
I mean, I thought you'd leave that for me, and then you'd throw in your Pippa comment. But no, you took it all for yourself, which is fine. It's your segment.
Time to see life a little bit differently. Here's Mark Miller with the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
For the good, we go to Manitoba. Winnipeg, as a matter of fact, and not for the Blue Bombers. Christine Kelbeck was coming home on a Saturday evening when her friends dropped her off, and then she immediately vanished from sight. They jumped out of the car to find her head and shoulders above the ground. She jumped into an area of the ground and it sunk below her. She sunk up to her shoulders and head. Fortunately, they had to call the fire department and they got her out reasonably quickly, but she was there long enough that she had her friends take photos of her while she was basically neck deep in the dirt. She ended up thinking it was pretty funny all in all because she did get out. But we go to Southwest Florida for the bad, where an Estero man was arrested on Saturday after robbing a man in the parking lot of the Estero River Outfitters. I mean, that crime-ridden area about 1.5 miles from my home. According to the Lee County Sheriff's officers, about 9:17 in the morning, a man was approached in the parking lot and a man demanded an iPhone. He said, the victim said, the man said, "Stop walking away, come here or get hit." And he had something in his hand. So the guy dropped his phone and kicked off his flip-flops. Well, I'm sorry, his Yeezy slides, and ran across the street. He found a couple on a bike and called 911. Turned out from security footage that it happened the way he described it. The guy had a pipe that he threw away. I have to be honest, David, if someone's coming at you with a pipe and saying, "Give me my phone," you taking your chances?
Yes.
I am too. Now, a gun, a knife, I'm probably giving everything up. But if I see a little pipe, like, let's bring it, dude. Let's go.
Yep.
I'll get my ass kicked for that. I would.
I've had people try to mug me and rob me working for Domino's and working for a convenience store, but they didn't have guns. I didn't give them a damn thing. I gave them attitude, and I chased them out of the store, and I chased them down the block.
For the ugly, we stay in the gritty streets of Estero, Florida. Who knew it was such a crime-riddled neighborhood? Boy, the village, David, the village idiots that run it better get on the ball.
Yeah,
because
really.
a man was arrested Sunday after a hit-and-run crash, and then he pointed a gun. Apparently, the man switched lanes in his SUV and hit a car, and then he took off. The guy followed the SUV, and at the next light, hopped out of his car, wanted to exchange insurance information. But 84-year-old John Moss wasn't having it. He became irate and pulled a gun and threatened to shoot and kill him.
Whoa.
Person ran back to their car, called the police, and police caught up with the man in the parking lot of a McDonald's where he was arrested. That is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, April the 29th, brought to you by the Cape Coral Police Department, hiring new officers. You know the drill. Great pay, signing bonus, overtime, plus other jobs available. If you're looking to make the move to Cape Coral in the police department, there's only one place to go, capecops.com. That's capecops.com.
Mark, let's be honest. If you or I could make it to 84, how ornery are we going to be? How much crap are we going to put up with from others if we get to 84?
Well, I like to think because of the recent events,
I
I'll
know
do better. But David, you're probably right.
Right. I'd like to think that too about both of us. And we have lightened up tremendously in the 20 years that we've worked together. But by 84, with all the aches and pains and the pills and whatever, are you serious?
First off, this wouldn't happen to me because at 84, I'm not driving anymore. I'm going to get up in the morning, knock down an edible, and wait until I can go to the bar and have a happy hour drink. I mean, let's be honest. But that instance would not happen to me because I worry about my mom at 81 driving. I can't see me driving a vehicle at 84. And I will say the road rage for me has completely gone away. I'm just doing play-by-play in my car. I literally look at that idiot, a 3-lane change without a blinker. He's going to piss someone off. I mean, that's what I've gone to. I don't yell. I don't flip the bird. I just do a running commentary the entire drive.
Have you adopted my philosophy of you're assuming everybody has a gun?
No, because I still would yell and scream and get mad. And now I just make light of it because I can't. I mean, there's a lot of bad drivers out there.
Lightning Canadians tonight, game 5 in Tampa, 7 p.m. start, which is great. So that when it goes double overtime, we'll still get to bed 11-ish. Do the Flyers put the Penguins away tonight? 7:30 TNT. Game 5, Utah, Vegas, 10 o'clock TNT. 3 NBA playoff games. Magic Pistons on Amazon. Toronto, Cleveland, 7:30 ESPN. Houston, LA. LA trying to put that series away, 10 o'clock ESPN. Everybody's playing in baseball, but there's 7 afternoon games, including the Rays at 1 against the Guardians. Thank you very much. How about this? Marlins, Dodgers. It's a mighty nooner in LA, so it's 3 o'clock our time. That's before the Shadows. But it's Alcantara against Glasnow. Over-under's 8.5. I might have to go under. Just saying.
Rays Guardians over under 6.5 with Rasmussen and Williams on the hill for that one. So I mean, that's a low damn number.
For what it's worth, the Yankees in action this afternoon, Red Sox in action this afternoon, Cubs, Padres also late in the afternoon, a 1 o'clock local start out in San Diego. So a lot of day baseball and then 3 NHL and NBA playoff games tonight.
You mentioned it during the starting 5 for you Tiger fans out there trying to get a win in Atlanta. Skubal on the bump tonight for the Tigers.
Or can Atlanta win and win yet another and go into May going, we haven't lost a series all damn year.
Unbelievable. What a start for the Braves. And I know we got a lot of Braves fans that listen. They were
Sure.
Florida's first team. Before the Rays and the Marlins, you were watching the Superstation. Hopefully, the Lightning can get it done tonight at home. We'll talk about it tomorrow, Miller and Moulton.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000 depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best. Be Cape.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
The
sound.
Floor Meisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floor Meisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
If you're a business who targets men, please know there is no better and more economical way to reach your target audience than us at Miller & Moulton. So let us help you make money. You can reach out to Mark at that Mark Miller or me at the David Moulton on X, or text us at 21,000. We have a proven product, a good reputation, and lots of quality segments that we can attach your company's name to. Miller & Moulton, we're like that old pizza box. You've had the rest, now try the best. Miller & Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
This is Miller and Moulton.